Welcome to Charlton TV here at the Valley, where Charlton host Oxford United in the last home fixture of 2025, and certainly been a year to remember for Nathan Jones and his side. Promotion, of course, many a good victory here, many good memories here, of course, not forgetting that night. And Matty Godden's goal sent us to Wembley, another special one in the Charlton calendar, and hopefully we can finish it with a flourish. And to get in the Christmas spirit, we've brought along the most merry of all merry men. And that is Mr. Steve Brown. How you doing, Brownie?
Yeah, I'm all the better for Christmas week, yeah.
You've never said that before. Never said that before. But we had a very good Charlton TV night out, which we're all still recovering from.
It's a bit heavy, wasn't it?
It was a busy night. Yep, Curbs, Scott Minto involved. It was a lovely night. But you were also part of the Charlton TV monthly, which if no one's seen as yet, you can do so on the Charlton's YouTube channel.
Bullied again.
You were bullied again. You try and leave a little bit on Lisby though, and and then he leaves quite a lot on you. So
it's the easiest target, that one. I look to my right, and I think presenters are always going to have the upper hand because they got the last say. Look to your left, it's Sir Alan, and then Liz in between. I think, bully Liz. Try and get something back on Liz.
You can't do anything with Curbs, that's for sure. But we're very much looking forward to today. A crucial game, no doubt about that. But one, I think, had we not got something against Birmingham, we would have felt even more important than his situation. But it is a game at the start of the year. These are the ones we looked at and thought, if we're going to survive in the Championship, these are the games we've really got to win. Yeah,
I think first and foremost, you want to be comfortable enough not to just have to look over your shoulder and survive. But ultimately, Greg, I think it's fair to say that if we retained Championship status in any way, shape or form, that is job done for the season. The problem is, you're only going to know that after 46 games, and whilst you're in the middle of a run, people start to get a little bit nervous, a little bit panicky, and I will say, I think today is probably one of those days where people are a little edgy. They are a little bit panicky because it's one of those games that if the result goes our way, everyone breathes a bit of a sigh of relief, and if it doesn't go our way, you're suddenly looking at Norwich away, who, we've spoken off air about Norwich and doing a false position, and they should well, you have. I thought they were in trouble. Which I didn't say on Charlton TV, did I? You pulled me up on that straight away.
No. Well, I think in fairness, Norwich aren't in a false position at this moment in time, but I just think...
Yeah, you think they're too good. They've got too much quality.
I think they'll just
stay down there.
I think they'll go and spend 15 million.
Yeah, but the point being that, suddenly you're looking at Norwich away, and then you're looking at Portsmouth away, which we, notoriously do okay against Portsmouth. However, if you suddenly get to the end of December, and you've got one draw and the rest negative results, you are going to start getting very, very agitated and sitting on the edge of your seat, looking over your shoulder. So we'll see how today goes. But this is certainly a game for me that's got a lot more riding on it than in previous weeks and months.
Well, that's certainly the case. And to get the thoughts ahead of this week's match, we spoke to Nathan Jones as he spoke to Charlton TV ahead of today's game.
Nathan, it's been a tough period emotionally and physically, which, touching on last Saturday's draw at Birmingham, we've hopefully come out of. Given what happened, not winning since early November, and taking into account the injury situation and Birmingham's form, home form especially, pretty impressive going into it. Does that go down as probably one of the best performances, stroke results of the season?
Well, look, I think we've had some real good performances this season. It was important that we just go back to being a bit more like us, and that's what it was. We looked far more solid, we looked far more aggressive, we looked more potent, and look, we've had some good opportunities to score. Birmingham are a very good side. Were we better than a year ago? Just under a year ago, we went there and lost 1-0, and I thought we were a better side, a considerably better side than when we did do that. So that's all those things are good signs for us. Look, we know we've gone through a tough spell with first and foremost with injuries, and secondly with the run of games we've had, which has compounded that. So look, we're just glad to be coming through that, and that performance kind of kind of demonstrated that.
And the emotions after the game, celebrating in front of the travelling fans, was there to see it. It must have been a really good feeling to be able to share that.
Yeah, but it wasn't so much a celebration. It was more of just an appreciation. One, fans have been amazing. You know, through a tough run. They give the team patience, but their understanding of the situation we're in. So it wasn't so much a celebration. It's more an appreciation of them being with us through this tough period, really.
So many big performances on the day, so it's difficult to mention every single one of them. Maybe Fuller obviously stands out because starting at left wing back. But we had a scare with Lloyd Jones going out and looking like he was being sick. I couldn't tell from our vantage point. But how is he, and is he okay straight after that? I know that you said he played on anyway. But
he was on his Christmas party on Sunday, so he couldn't have been that bad. But no, look, he was fine. He felt sick. You know, it looked far more dramatic than it was. But once he went to speak to me, he said, "No, I'm fine. I just feel a bit sick." So, you know, that's why he needed the respite, really. So, yeah, when you do that, people think, well, it must be concussion, it must be something, but it wasn't. He just felt sick.
The leads me nicely onto the obvious question, which is about injuries and what have you. As we run into a tough period of games over the Christmas period, are there any Christmas presents likely to come off the treatment table? Yeah,
they are. Look, we're in a considerably better position than we were. Look, how many are able to feature on Saturday is one thing, but you know, they are filtering back now. So of the 6 injuries that we've got, we could get 2 back for the weekend, and then a further 2, and then we work on from there. So look, we're in a better position, and it's looking better. You know, training session today, when you look at who we've had fit and the competition we've got there, it starts to look a lot healthier, you know, in terms of everything. We've got to manage them right, because you can't just throw everyone straight back in and so on, and then re-injury. But look, when after the Swansea game, for example, when you're looking round and you look depleted, we look now a lot stronger unit. So hopefully for this festive period, we are in a far better position.
Is the timing of that draw at Birmingham then a perfect one? Because you had to shuffle things about, bring, as I said before, Ibi Fuller in for that spot at left wing back. Is that a timely reminder to everybody that you know, everybody's going to get used and they're all important?
Well, we keep preaching that. You know, I've pretty much played everyone at left wing back apart from Jason Morgan. You know, it's literally it's been a problem position for us. All those things now are starting to sort themselves out. You know, this is a position we want to strengthen in as well. So look, we're in a better position, and as I said, it just showed, because we asked them to go back to normal, you know, back to basics. Let's go back to what we do, because it's been uncharacteristic. We've conceded the same amount of goals, I think, in 4 games than we did in the previous 14, 15. So it shows that there's something. Yeah, the quality of opposition was high, but it has been anyway, you know, against Leicester's, against Watford's, against these are the teams that have been in the Championship, Ipswich's. These are teams that have been in Premier League and the Championship for many years. So there had to be something wrong. And if you look at it from the outside and goes, all right, they're gone, it's not. Or no, we've had a tough run of fixtures, a lot of them away, and the injury thing. So it was good just to get back to normal, and that's what we want to do now. Is rebuild. We have to rebuild that confidence, rebuild that defensive solidity, and then we can go from there.
I'm sure you won't have to be told, and nor do the players, but the 3-game stretch we've got over Christmas, you look at the table, you look at the teams we're going to play. Certainly fans will be looking at it thinking, oh, we can, maybe now we can get going and take off again. But it's never quite as easy as that. And you've said before, the Championship is a tough place to come.
It's never like that. You know, every team is different. Every team has their threats, and it's just different threats. So you have to adjust, and that's the great thing about the Championship. Anyone beats anyone. Anyone can play well against anyone. You know, results shock you at times. The big thing in me is what we keep saying is we have to be the best versions of ourselves, and we haven't been the best versions of ourselves against some top teams, and that's the disappointing thing. Now we want to get back to that, and that's all I'm concerned about.
And the first one of that run of 3 is Oxford at the Valley on Saturday. How much are you looking forward to that one? And Oxford, will bring a tough test, because they're desperate for the points as well.
Well, everyone is. I mean, they're all a tough test. Whatever their motivation is, we don't know. But our motivation is we want to get back to winning ways. We want to, win at the Valley. We want to win for us, and we want to play well for us, and we want a performance that, the thing about Birmingham, it just gives you heart, because you think, no, that's more us. We haven't been us for 3 or 4 games, and that's more us, and that's the main thing, really. Now we have to kick on for that. We didn't win against Birmingham. We stopped the rot, if you like, and looked, and put in a far better performance. We want to capitalise on that. We want to build on that, but we want to win the game.
It's the last presser for me just for Christmas. At least I don't know about everybody else. So
you have a nice break.
So I'm having it. So basically, yeah. But it's my opportunity to wish you and your family, obviously, a Merry Christmas. Now, fans will be looking at this stretch and have their own Christmas wishes. Does Nathan Jones have a Christmas wish for himself and for the team?
Well, 12 points would be nice. That would be it. But no, look, it's as we've seen. Christmas is a wonderful time. It's a family time. I love Christmas sport as well, because it's for footballers, you get used to it. It's not like well, suddenly they have to sacrifice it. We say that we get paid for what we don't do at Christmas, and that's what it is. But Christmas is a wonderful time. I want people to enjoy it, and we've realised in the last couple of weeks that there's that anything can happen in life, so you have to enjoy the good times. What I'd like is for us to be healthy, to be happy, to win football games over Christmas, and to start moving in the right direction. And I said I appreciate the Christmas wishes, and I wish everyone else exactly the same. But look, it's a wonderful time, and look, we've come a long way. A year ago, with the greatest respect, we were probably playing Northampton this weekend. Now we're in the Championship. We're fighting for points there. The club is double the crowd, so we've come a long way, and we're very grateful in God's will that we've been able to build that in a year.
Well, there you go. There was Nathan Jones talking to Charlton TV ahead of today's game against Oxford. A nice little mention for our friend Jason Morgan in there as well. Brownie, we were with Curbs on Thursday night. Curbs said, I think I could play left back now better than Jason could at any age Jason was, of course, of his life, which is a little bit harsh, but...
Oh, it's not harsh, is it? I mean, first and foremost, he's useless at picking up from set pieces, Jace, so you can't have him picking up, can you? He'd have to be near post man. He's 4'8". Second, he's a rugby man, not a football man, so Curbs is absolutely right. Curbs could have played on one leg better than Jace could have played at his very, very best. So, but I get where Nathan's at, and I think we have mentioned on several occasions about the injury list is the injury list, but it's harsh in as much as 2 centre forwards go down, 2 wing backs go down, or effectively 2 wing backs. As other clubs have their injuries sort of spread out the team a little bit more, and if you have cover in every position, but you lose 2 of that same position, it does stretch your team a little bit. So I do feel for Nathan in that respect, but yeah, I wouldn't trust Morgan out there. No, it'd be a waste of time.
Well, we will give Jason the right to reply at some stage on Charlton TV, I'm sure. Very much got better and more important things to do, no question about it. But yeah, you make a good point with the way the injuries have happened. I think about that. Is it Blackburn at home or Swansea at home? I think Swansea at home, wasn't it? When we had both Burke and Bell get injured within that first half. Yeah. Which, when that happens, if it was one of those players out, then you get a little bit more defensive cover for maybe 2 or 3 games. But yeah, straight away you have to completely change your team, and it's very obvious with the amount of players who've played left wing back, as Nathan's kind of alluded to. It has been a problem position for us with those injuries.
Yeah, and it goes back to why we say what we say as people that have been around football is that strength in depth is quite important, and we've come up from League One. We've done really well on recruitment in terms of how short the window was, and we had to get up to speed quickly. And there was a lot of signings made. And I think Nathan went with familiarity a little bit, because you are taking a risk. If you sign a player that you've got no way of really understanding what he's like when he walks in the building, and you can do as much research as you like, you can call people around football, but you still don't know what the dynamic's going to be between the manager and the player if they've never worked together, which is why you see managers go back to players quite often, because they know what's coming in the building. They can trust them. And you don't have to spend the first 3 or 4 weeks working each other out, or working out whether you've made the right signing or not. So I can understand why Nathan went for familiarity. The issue is that when we've got our strongest team out, I think we are very competitive in the Championship. Unfortunately, we've lost 3 or 4 of our, what I would call our stronger players, and that has left us light. And if you're losing, you know, Edwards and Bell, and then you're losing Burke and Bell, it's 2 good centre halves out, 2 good wing backs out, 2 good centre forwards out, and Kelman and Godden. That is unfortunately going to have an impact as you go down your squad. And that's why we've just fallen off a little bit in recent weeks. But, you know, I did say on Charlton TV this week, we've got to stop actually using it as an excuse, because then the players get used to it, hearing it's an excuse, it's a reason. And actually they've got to get their heads around that whatever 11 is out there, we need to start picking up results. And so it's okay for us to say that, but actually as a manager, he's got to be selling positive vibes in that dressing room now, because this is a team, in terms of the opposition today, that is having their own struggles. You know, 1 win in 9. They haven't kept a clean sheet, I believe, in 11 Championship games. I'll have to check if that's away from home or in total, but yeah, I mean, they've got their own struggles. Their manager's fighting as well, I think, for his position, and they're certainly not enjoying where they're sat at the moment as well. So, we think there might be a bit of added pressure for us, but there's a lot of pressure on them as well.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, one of the players who has had a bit more opportunities due to those injuries is Ibby Fuller, the young Charlton man. Spoke to Charlton TV during the week, and then it'll be Terry Smith to lead you through until kick-off here on Charlton TV.
Ibby, Saturday was a good result for us, a point away at Birmingham after what's been a bit of a challenging period. What's the current mood like in the dressing room ahead of the Christmas schedule? Yeah,
everyone's just ready, to be honest. Obviously off the back of a good performance as well. I feel like it's something we needed, especially going through like a tough time, so everyone's just ready to kick on for Saturday's game as well.
And on Saturday, you're a bit unorthodox for you. You played left wing back for us, and you came up against Patrick Roberts, who's a very experienced player. How did you find it coming up against an opponent with such pedigree? Yeah,
I just had to make sure I focused on doing what I needed to do in the game. Just listen to what the gaffer instructed me to do, and then obviously at the end of the day, just do what I need to do as well in possession. So, it was a good game to play left wing back in.
And speaking of the manager, he's shown a lot of confidence in you. You've been included in a couple of the starting 11s and bringing you off the bench as a game changer in certain games. How have you found the step up to the Championship?
It's been really good. He's just obviously been telling me all the time, just to, anytime I play, just play with that freedom and confidence, and then just deal straight out of possession as well. So taking on that information, I feel like I've settled in really well.
And on Saturday we face Oxford, who haven't had the best run of results as of late, but every Championship game is a tough one. What do you expect from them this weekend?
Yeah, I don't really know much from them, to be honest, but just got to be ready for the game on Saturday in terms of leading up to it, in terms of training and things like that. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be ready for the game. And
it feels like we've had a lot of away trips recently. Does it give you and the team that extra boost going into Saturday, knowing that we're going to be on home soil?
Yeah, 100%. The atmosphere at the Valley is always good. It's always good to play in front of the fans. So yeah, I feel like we need that extra push from the fans.
And this weekend is also our Christmas Spirit Day at the Valley, and it's our last home game before Christmas. Like I said, what has it been like playing in front of those fans this season?
No, it's been really good. Anytime you do something well, just like the small things like tackles and things like that, it really lifts up the team, and the whole place is just really loud, so I feel like it'll be good to play in front of them.
Thank you, Ibby.
So that was Charlton TV talking to Ibby Fuller earlier in the week. My thanks to Greg for covering while I did the lounge with John Humphrey today. It was John Humphrey today in the lounge. Really enjoyed asking questions to Johnny H. And highly regarded by me, certainly, and by many as probably the best right back we've ever had. You're right, mate.
Yeah. This lady's just tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Is this Terry's last commentary today?" I said, "It's news to me if it is."
Somebody telling me something.
That's what I said. I said, "Not that I know of." I said, "What you heard?"
Well, somebody sent me scripts that know what I'm going to say. Clearly,
that's brilliant, isn't it? Oh, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not.
Can I take this opportunity to wish you a happy Christmas and Merry New Year? Because what I'll see you again then.
I love the way they just walk down the stairs, tap her on the shoulder. Is this Terry's last one? No. No, not that I know of.
I'll wait to. Yeah.
Football clubs, eh?
Actually, you took me out the other night. I thought it was going to be my last one as well. The way you plied me with
we had
alcohol.
everyone, didn't we, Sal? Yeah, it was a good
Outrageous
night. It was a good night. Do you know what? They're really good nights for many different reasons. Just the chat, the banter, I think that's how you get departments to get along, in my opinion. You know, the more socials you can have, the better it is, because you learn things about people that you might not know. But yeah, we had a great evening.
The good thing was I left before my P45 got delivered. So you're fine.
You're golden. You're golden.
Great.
It's not great, but...
Well, no, it's thrown me completely.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you've probably spoken about it already. I'm obviously a bit late because I was talking to Johnny H downstairs in the lounge. You know me, Brandy. I'm not in the must-win. Normally, I'm not in the must-win territory of football games. But this is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, we briefly went over it, Tel, but not to that degree. And I think there's a certain amount of pressure on this one. And I've said our opponents are not in great form either. Well, 1 win in 9, and they're without a win in 4 away league games. Yeah, and I mean they've kept a clean sheet in the last 11, so they're in a bit of bother themselves. But they're meeting us at what they probably think is a very, very good time. Because if they'd met us 6 weeks ago, I think we would have wiped the floor with them. But we're not in that position ourselves. And I can tell you from experience that you do have to rely on the more solid citizens when you're in a spot of bother. And what I mean by that is there are some players that don't perform, or they're weaker under pressure. There are players, without any shadow of a doubt, there are players that just, they feel that pressure. And if the game starts well for them, great. If it doesn't start well, they kind of wilt a little bit. And so in these situations, I think you've always got to try and go for the best 11 that can handle the pressure of the situation. And we are under a bit of pressure. Not in terms of dramatic pressure, in terms of, I think he's in trouble here. It's more our league position. You just want to get a bit of daylight between the bottom 3 and you, and it gives you a little bit of confidence. I thought the point last week was massive in that respect. So if you come into this game and you're 6 straight losses, or whatever it would have been, then I think that would have added a little bit more pressure. But there was a really good fight back in that second half where I thought we stood up, we showed a bit of grit, a bit of character, and we got that goal, and then the point just made the week a little bit better for everyone at the training ground, and hopefully that's just settled the nerves a little bit, and they can go into this one with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more morale, you know, with a happier week ahead of yourself, because there is nothing like a training ground when you're losing. It's quiet, it's a little bit depressing, you just want to get in, do your job, go home, as opposed to when you're on these good streaks, you can't wait to get back into the training ground because it's a laugh, it's a giggle, everyone's having a bit of fun. And so when the pressure comes, the training ground atmosphere changes as well. And they will have felt that in the last month. And that's when I think you have to rely on your really solid citizens and you know, the ones that don't take the pressure so well. You have to kind of find a way of leaving them out. You can't always do that, you know, because that will draw criticism itself. But when you can, get your most solid citizens out there, the ones you know are going to be consistent, do a good job for you.
Well, we're minutes away from kick-off, and the two sides will be out shortly to our left-hand side. As the players come out, we'll read you out the two sides. And so most people will already know the team, Brownie, from looking at social media, etc.
Yeah.
So we've made a couple of changes, obviously. The one's probably surprising one, unless there's an injury, Ibby Fuller not featuring. I think he was warming up, so I don't suspect there was one. Maybe it's just the case you were saying before about bringing a young man out of the limelight and just not exposing him to what could be quite a tough afternoon in terms of a result we have to get.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, no, I know you're different. No, that's why I
wish we'd have had some information on it, if I'm honest with you. Because I'd like to think there is an injury there, or an illness,
maybe
at the very least. But if there's not, then that is a curious one, because I thought he was terrific when he came on at half-time a couple of games ago. And I thought, considering he's filling in a position away from home in a hostile environment where he's filling in for you at left wing-back, he did a solid job last week. You know, he wasn't outstanding by any stretch of imagination, but he did a solid job for a kid that's really a number 10 player. So, yeah, I'd love to know why he's not involved, and I'd love to know the reason behind it, because like, it's not to be critical, it's just that so that we could give out the information. But yeah, curious one. I did raise an eyebrow when he was completely off of it, and my first thought is either an illness, you know, of the last couple of days, or an injury.
Well, as I said, I will read you out the sides a bit over, but it gives Rob Apter an opportunity to come in that sort of, I'm guessing, the left wing-back role, and he's a player that's probably got a bit of a point to prove.
Yeah, I just think that situation needs to settle down a little bit, that's all, you know, and I think, look, I played for a manager that just dealt with things there and then, and if it spilt over for a week or two, it certainly didn't last beyond that. And if somebody wanted to take it beyond that, then Curbs would have made a decision whether he was the right person to be in our dressing room. But yeah, look, only Nathan can really tell you when he's, you know, when he's ready to tell everyone. He can only it'll tell you the real situation, because sometimes there are things behind, you know, players getting left out that just can't be said, can't be spoken about, and well, we don't know if that's the situation. So, you know, it's easy from the outside looking in, going, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? But quite often there's a story behind it. There's a reason, and the one thing I can tell you is the manager has to run the roost. Once a manager loses the running of the roost, it becomes incredibly difficult for him to stay on top of everything. So you have to give him that in terms of if there's a situation that's getting out of hand, he has to control it, and sometimes that can spill into situations lasting 3 or 4 weeks. It's not ideal, but he can't lose the run in the dressing room. It's as simple as that, and he won't, because he's that kind of character. He just won't allow it to happen.
Well, it's a game that is of significant importance in this division. There's a couple of results that have gone earlier on. Blackburn beating Millwall here, and so I haven't got the table in front of me. I'm pretty sure that means Blackburn go above us.
No, they do, yeah. They do.
And so adds a little bit more gravitas to the situation potentially.
Yeah, well, it does, particularly as our opponents are in the bottom three, and it would be, it certainly would be not catastrophic, but pretty bad if they hoiked 3 points against us today. And like I said, it's a great opportunity for us with the games coming up. If we have a draw last week at Birmingham, you get a win today, you suddenly go into that Norwich game with a bit more confidence. If you could pick something up there, you're going down to Portsmouth, and suddenly we're back on the right side of results. So that's why I think this game's pivotal. You know, the pendulum could swing back in our favour with a, and it doesn't even have to be a decent performance, it's just got to be a win, because suddenly you're looking down at that bottom three and you've created a sizable gap that you'll still want to increase on it, but there's a sizable gap that you can start to just think, right, we're good enough to get ourselves out of this situation even with our injuries. You know, like I said, you don't want to keep making that excuse and making that excuse and making that excuse, because then it starts to weigh a bit heavily on your minds. But yeah, it's a big game, and you can't rely on other people getting results, you've got to take care of business yourself, and that starts by getting the result here today.
Got the two sides coming out now, away to our left-hand side, and as they do so, I shall read you out the teams, starting with our visitors, Oxford United, and in goal for them, number 1, Jamie Cumming, 3, Kieran Brown, 4, Will Vaults, 6, the captain, Michael Healick, 9, Mark Harris, 11, Ole Romani, 14, Brian de Keersmaker, 15, Brodie Spencer, 16, Nick Preles, 22, Greg Lee, and 29, Ben Davis. Subs for Oxford United, Matt Ingram, Sam Long, Zimislaw Placheta, Luke Harris, Stanley Mills, Tyler Goodham, Jack Curry, Will Lancashire, and Philip Krastev. Your Charlton side will line up with in goal number 1, Thomas Kaminski, 2, Kane Ramsky, 3, Macaulay Gillespie, 5, the captain, Lloyd Jones, 6, Connor Coventry, 11, Miles Leeburn, 14, Sonny Carey, 18, Karoy Anderson, 22, Tanto Alafi, 28, James Bree, and number 30, Rob Apter. Your subs for Charlton, Will Mannion, Therese Campbell, Luke Berry, Greg Doherty, Jerome Roussillon, Charlie Kelman, Joe Rankin Costello, Keenan Goff, and Harvey Nibbs. Your referee for this afternoon is Elliot Bell. He's going to be assisted by Alistair Nelson and Jacob Lehane. And your fourth official is Josh Smith. The Charlton team, obviously in their traditional red shirts, white shorts, red and white socks, and Oxford United, well, they're in like a lime green, I think. Certainly socks with white shorts. I'm guessing the top is a similar colour. Yes, they've just taken the jackets off. It's a sort of, well, not lime's probably not maybe not lime green, but a sort of pale green, I think, ish. I don't know what I'll let you get your Pantone chart for that one out. It's greenish, it's fair to say. Sea green, oh, whatever.
Turquoisey?
Oh, maybe hinting towards there. Oh, gosh, we should be on Homes Under the Hammer or something. Oh, dear. Just to let you know that Just,
If it was a furrow and ball colour, it would be something extravagant, wouldn't it?
oh, almost certainly, yeah.
Dulux turquoise.
It's probably got a label that's about 4 foot long. That colour. Anyway, just to remind you that anyone who's purchased a match streaming pass for today, you can purchase an annual pass for just £240, gives you coverage of every league game that the club show in your region. And today's commentary and the stream are brought to you by our club partner, NordVPN. And the two sides are just having the photos taken. Just going to have a personal message, if you don't mind. Sister Christina Cook, our best friend and our friend, actually. She's been a friend of ours for a while. Georgina Light, sadly her sister Michelle passed away just 2 days ago. They're a huge Charlton family. I know that George and Michelle's brother, the dad, are here today, and so we wish them all our huge respects at a difficult time to all the family. Our condolences. Georgina, hope to see you at the Valley soon, George. The two sides are now to our left and right. Charlton in front of the covered end. A decent crowd in the Valley tonight. Oxford have brought a decent amount, and Charlton fans have decided that Christmas shopping is not for them. And they're here at the Valley to watch what we hope will be a decent game of football, or certainly one that we end up with the 3 points regardless of how good the football is. Oxford United look like they have the kick-off and will defend the Jimmy Seed stand where their fans are.
Saturday afternoon Sky Bet Championship back at the Valley. Let's get behind the boys. Every single one of us. Come on in legs. Come on in legs.
Decent afternoon for football here in southeast London. Sun has gone behind the stands now as Oxford get us underway. Immediately back to the keeper coming, who sends it, drills it through the middle. Jones will jump and doesn't get the header though, and it might be kept in this right hand corner. It is. Ramsey trying to defend it now, out to the left, chipped into the penalty area. Jones this time gets there first and clears it away. Throw into Oxford United, halfway inside the Charlton half on the left. There was a huge leap just in front of Lloyd Jones there. Meant he couldn't get to the header, and you'd imagine there might be a throw launched into similar situation for Charlton to deal with. It is a long throw coming in from Vokes. Doesn't reach the 6-yard line. Bree heads it, 6-yard box rather. Bree heads it away. They'll have to get something on it. And Davis then just guides it back to Cumming on the edge of his penalty area for Oxford, and they start again drilled forward. This time Jones does come and claims it, heads it away. Vokes with the next header though. Jones still there for the next defensive header for Charlton, and then Gillespie gets a foot in. Carey trying to guide it up to Alafe, dealt with by Davis. It's out here on the left hand side. Lee goes backwards, then Davis once more drills it forward, but straight to Kane Ramsey, who thought about going through the middle, thought that way might be blocked, so went back to Jones, who just about gets it to Karai Anderson. Anderson does well, out to Apter. Apter looks for the ball down the line. I don't think Alafi was there even if he managed to make it, but it's been blocked away. It'll be a throw into Charlton on the left.
Yeah, I mean, early formations are 2-3-5-2s. Apter's gone in at left wing back for Charlton Athletic. We did wonder if there might be a little switch around, but nope, that's just a like for like. Apter in at left wing back. Oxford setting up with a back three. And that was a lovely ball out from Jones under pressure. I thought there was a bit of trouble there. Weaker left side. Lovely ball into Anderson, straight out Apter. What I like is they push their wing back on, and that does leave a little bit of space for our front two to work on the outside of their right-sided centre-half.
Throw gained about 10 yards. Spencer gets it away for another throw to Charlton. Again, it comes in. This time Anderson will pick it up. Tries to go back to Gillespie, but he put too much on that under pressure. So out for an Oxford United throw now. You get the feeling this might get it has a scrappy vibe about it, because both sides are desperate for the win.
Well, they went direct from kick-off, flick on, chased it down. It's a day for percentages. Don't make any mistakes. Don't get caught in possession in the wrong area. So you can forgive players today for putting their foot through things if they're not sure their surroundings. It is that kind of day, unfortunately.
Well, Kaminsky does exactly that, and then Leeburn is bundled off the ball before he could get to it, and Charlton with Apter do get it back, but he can't keep it in on the left-hand side. It being thrown to Oxford, and Quizzical looks at the referee, thought Charlton player thought Leeburn had been unfairly pushed off from getting the ball. Nothing given. It's a throw into Oxford on their right-hand side. Again, down the line it goes. Avoids everybody and makes its way through to Harris. It's good work from Ramsey over there on the cover. Does well to turn away from Harris, who back at him, but he's done well again and got the ball down the line to Leeburn. Super work from Ramsey. Leeburn trying to reverse flick it into the path of Apter, but it doesn't come off. And Oxford have it back. From this switch sides. Brown forward, that's a great challenge from Gillespie. He's won it back for Charlton in Coventry, up towards Leeburn, touch back to Anderson. Anderson trying to make room. Gets it out to Alafe, just beaten to it by Brown. And Charlton still have possession though with Coventry in the centre circle. Oxford trying to press. Gillespie on the right at the moment, trying to switch it across towards Apter, doesn't have the distance. Jones comes thundering forward and gets a good connection, and he might run through to Alafe, and it's an important touch, but there's an offside flag anyway. Although I don't think Davis was aware of it. He had to get the touch on it, otherwise Alafe was in. Yeah. But the offside flag had been raised.
Yeah, and just going back to the very start when we lost that first header up, they got in behind our defence. Since then, Jones has been on the front foot, and he's won 2 big headers over the top of their 2 centre forwards. And I think that's an area where we've got to take control. Don't let their centre forwards start to dictate. Don't let them get little flick-ons. Don't let them pull the ball down and bring that midfield into play, and vice versa. Can our front 2 back in, hold the ball up? I thought Miles did that pretty well just moments ago. I thought the support from Apter should have been support. He run past him and that made his job impossible. But yeah, I think that's 2 areas. Can our centre halves get on top of their 2 forwards, and can we start to control their back line? And then the game will swing into our favour naturally if we can do that.
Well, the free kick came to nothing, went straight out of play, and it's Ramsey with the throw. Bree will head it on for Charlton, but defended away by Davis once more. It's central centre-half position for Oxford. Charlton with the throw, Bree with it again. Ramsey, sorry, with it again towards Bree. And there's a
push from Coventry.
Which I would wager wasn't as strong as the push on Leeburn just now, but there we are. Probably a little bit more obvious, perhaps, from Coventry, and it will be a free kick to Oxford, which Kiersmaker will knock backwards to Brown. In turn goes back to his keeper, edge of his area, coming, goes right, across to Hillick, instantly sends it forward. Jones coming across to defend it away. Apter can't get there to keep it in. It will be an Oxford throw on that right hand side. Volk goes over there, and it will be another long throw coming forward. From about halfway inside the Charlton half, so last throw he attempted from that sort of distance, it didn't make anywhere near the 6-yard box, so let's see if he can get more distance on this one. Just a little bit more. Jones comes out, but it's Gillespie with the header, headed back into the Charlton penalty area. Leeburn heads it away. There's a foul in there. If you're going to ask me specifically, I'm not entirely sure why, but there is a foul given. And it's a Charlton free kick inside the penalty area with 6.5 minutes gone. Still goalless here at the Valley.
Yeah, game's hectic, isn't it, in terms of aerial bombardments, but we're going to have to deal with a long throw. We're going to have to deal with those long balls forward. We're getting good first contact, that's what I will say in these early stages. Lost the first one, but haven't lost one since. So aerial duels, I think, are going to be a big factor as this half progresses.
Jones out to Gillespie, tries to cross-field ball, but headed away by Brown. And Oxford will come forward. Harris with an overlap on that right-hand side from Spencer. Attempted cross is blocked by Apter, but it will be a throw, and you'd expect Volks to drift over there to take this. In fact, he's already there. Ball on the pitch currently. So the linesman does some tidying up. And Volks will look to send this throw in. Because of the new advertising hoardings, it doesn't have the length of run-up that you would normally expect. Maybe that'll interfere with the distance as it comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header from Ramsey. Alafe will go right with it, but nobody in a red shirt is there. Although Bree's making up. No, that's a lovely challenge from Bree, and he's released Carey on the right. Carey with Alafe trying to make up the distance ahead of him. As is Anderson, and it's Anderson fed left side of the penalty area. Still Caroy Anderson back into Carey. Trying to flick it onto Apter, but it's defended away, but back to Carey. Can he get a shot away? Well, he does, but he just scuffs it bounces awkwardly for him, and it's away for a goal kick.
Yeah, love the challenge from Bree, and then that was a swift counter-attack, really good pace. Alafe doing his best to get alongside Carey, and I just thought there was a moment there where Carey could have fed Alafe in. And I don't mean to, be disparaging, but Klaus Jensen would have done a little outside of the right, so it was in the path of Alafe. And those windows are quarter of a second, half a second long, and as soon as you decide not to, that shuts off, and we went sideways, and that fizzled out. But brilliant challenge from Bree, deep in our own half to set up that counter.
Yeah, back in my day, it was Bree trying to get to Brown from the clearance, and did so illegally, according to the referee, and I think he had a point. It'll be a free kick to Oxford, taken quickly by Brown, trying to send the ball through the middle to the edge of the penalty area. Prelets looking for it, but dealt well in the end between Gillespie and Ramsey, and it's Gillespie who gets the ball away. It will be a throw into Oxford United, just inside their own half on the left. Quickly taken, back to Davis. And now coming. Just about finds Brown with the out ball to the left-hand side. Nowhere to go, Brown, so he has to go backwards to Davis again, with Leeburn looking to close him down. Keeper once more. And this time drills it through the middle, looking for Harris, beaten to it by Gillespie. But Oxford get to the next ball. Conor Coventry tidies up for Charlton. Back to Ramsey, who's got work to do here to avoid the attentions of Lee. Gets it back to Kaminski. Leeburn being pulled all over the place, but gets his head up. Backwards and sideways to Coventry, releases Aptar out on the left-hand side, and Anderson making a great run down the left. Anderson trying to come back inside. He didn't feel like he had the pace to outrun Oxford United, so trying to come back in to find some space, and that's allowed Oxford to take possession back. The ball up towards Harris. Gillespie's there, but he doesn't get to the ball, and then Aptar's having to do some work here as cover, and does it well, actually, with Spencer on the overlap. Oh, and then Kaminski tries to go back to Aptar, and he can't get there. Aptar, it was a suicide ball from Kaminski, you have to say, trying to find Rob Aptar, who couldn't keep it in, and that'll be a throw-in right by the corner flag on the Oxford right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, those are the decisions I was talking about earlier. You can forgive people, like if Kaminski wants to smash that 70 yards down the pitch and everyone groans, fine, it's 70 yards down the pitch, but now we're going to face a long throw against us with Oxford loading our penalty area. See, I've got to question that decision to go back to Aptar in the first place.
Tried his best Aptar to keep it in, but he just couldn't get there. It will be Volks with this throw towards the Charlton 6-yard box. Foot in from Anderson, and again the referee spotted something, and again I haven't seen what it was, but Charlton will have a free kick.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not seeing enough there for free kicks, but look, thankful for them, because you only need to get one of those long throws wrong and it's a flick on into a really dangerous area. So all the time he's willing to blow his whistle for things we can't see, not a problem. But I think we've got to avoid giving away those throw-ins when we can in our defensive third.
Well, certainly a weapon for Oxford that they've shown they're going to use regularly. And Kaminski just trying to decide whether to go short to Jones or Ramsey, but Oxford have pressed high, so ultimately this is going to go long. And Kaminski sends it down to the Charlton right. Leeburn will come to challenge, gets a good header on it as well. Alafe will get the next one, but it's an important header from Davis to stop it getting towards Bree. Charlton will have a throw. And it's Bree on the right-hand side to take it. Almost adjacent to the penalty area, the line of the penalty area. It's thrown in towards Leeburn. Leeburn holds it up, trying to tee in Carey. Goes back to Coventry, out to Bree once more. Coventry again, Charlton being pressed, so the space isn't there. Charlton forced backwards to Jones, out to Gillespie, and again Oxford with the press. Out to Aptar, inside to Anderson, instant ball forward, looking for the run of Alafe, but it doesn't have the legs on it to do that.
Yeah, but we've got to shuffle. Front two have got to shuffle over. As the ball shuffles, and I mean, that's been a long time since it's come from our right-hand side from Bree, back into midfield, back to the centre halves, back across to the left-hand side. Our two centre forwards have to drift over for that first ball forward. They're still over on the right-hand side of the pitch. You can't switch off like that today.
Jones follows Harris all the way into the centre circle to defend that, and then the ball over the top from Oxford United. Gillespie does superbly well up against Romanic, who was just momentarily clear from that long ball forward.
Yeah, again, he's run to the edge of his box, Kaminski, nothing up front in terms of movement for him, and so he ends up bowling it out to Ramsey. but he just wants something positive up there that he could maybe throw or volley.
Well, on 13 minutes, Charlton come together to applaud the memory of Headphones Norm. Gillespie on the left. Out to Apter. Apter caught in possession by Spencer. And Spencer inside to Volks, tries to go down the line. Gillespie backtracking to deal with it and takes no chances, gets it away for an Oxford throw.
Yeah, and he's just got to get to the speed of the game a little bit quicker, Rob Apter, because he's been caught a couple of times. He's been pressed really early. Brodie Spencer, I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, I think he's been out a while as well. I think it's his first game back for quite some time. So you've got two players there that are a little bit out of sorts in terms of minutes on the pitch, but Spencer's really up to speed quite quickly, and Apter's just got to get a little bit sharper in possession. He's got to get his brain working a little bit quicker.
It's another long throw coming in from Volks, but he goes across the pitch this time to Davis. Now on the right-hand side, Kearsmacher gets a long cross in, and it's avoided everybody. Lee went to ground. The referee not interested. Goal kick to Charlton. We've had 14 minutes, still goalless here.
Yeah, I mean, he's an absolute specimen, isn't he, physically, Lee? His upper body is very broad. He went down very, very easily there. Oh, okay. Little contact, but I'll turn my Charlton eyes away from that one.
Gillespie receives it off of Jones. Crossfield ball. Leeburn with a flick on to Bree. Good flick on. Bree with a good run. Trying to tee up Alafi, just the wrong side of him. Nice movement, but maybe Alafi could have just held the run to the left a little bit, and was, because that was where the space was. Sadly, though, straight through to the keeper.
Yeah, but nice to see Miles get a flick on, and it was a really good cushion as well into the path of Bree, because he's got to do that more often for us. He's got to hold the ball up better. He's got to win a few more headers for us, and that was an excellent cushioned header from Leeburn.
Hillick for Oxford, out to Spencer on the right, back inside to Volks. Volks to Davis in the centre circle, brings it forward. Now trying to reverse crossfield pass towards Apter and Spencer, and it's Spencer who gets the nod. It's back here with Harris, teeing up to the edge of the box. Fizzing shot. I think that from was De Kearsmacher, I think. I just can't see his shirt number from here. No, it was Volks actually coming forward with the shot, and it wasn't a million miles wide, I don't think.
You can normally tell from the reaction of the keeper, and Kaminsky just watched that one go by. He was not interested in making a save. So as much as the strike looked great from here, and it was a lovely strike, you're right, Tel, it was always going to be the wrong side of the post.
Alafe with the header intending to find Leeburn, but it went straight to Volks. To the right is Spencer. Back to Volks again, who again lifts it forward. The run of Prelets on the right, followed by Gillespie, who gets a foot in, but again it'll be a throw, and again it'll be Volks to send it towards the penalty area, although Prelets has gone over. Not sure why, he's got no chance of winning that argument, but actually he stayed there for the quick throw. Back to Volks. Trying to find Prelets again, and that's probably why they do the long throw technique, because that one went nowhere near Prelets, and Apter can clear it away, but straight to Davis, inside to Brown. Brown, ball out to Lee, little touch inside to Kearsmacher, and that's a good foot in from Bree. Finds Leeburn, goes back to James Bree, lifts it forward as Leeburn had kept his run going. Good controlled header into Carey. Carey just holds it up, looking for a support. Coventry provides it out to Bree. Bree, ball into the box, looking for Alafi. Oh, and it's just run offside. Oh, that must have been a tight call.
Yeah, it is tight, you're right. But again, excellent from Miles. One initial header, one initial ball up, then he won a little cushioned header back into midfield, and then we joined, and it was the ball round the corner from Coventry, and we've got to get that midfield a little bit higher up the pitch. We've got to get them in possession in the Oxford half, because I think their weakness is they will concede goals if we can suddenly get a little bit more entry into the final third to put that back line under more pressure.
Coventry does well to win the ball back for Charlton. Looked like he was fouled in the process, but Charlton had possession. Anderson turns away from Volks, looking for options. Jones closest by him, and now Ramsey to the right. In space, Ramsey. Carey inside, but Ramsey carries on. Still Kane Ramsey, with Bree on the outside of him. James Bree Combines with Ramsey once more. Oh, Ramsey expected him to go out round the corner, but it didn't happen. But the clearance goes straight to Coventry. Now Bree again, but he can't keep it in. And Charlton getting in some nice areas, but then just that final pass isn't quite finding its mark.
Yeah, we've got ourselves sort of stuck between two stalls at the moment. When we've had a chance to try that really risky creative pass, we've turned away from it. And then when we have tried it with Alafe earlier with Bree, we've overhit it. So, yeah, we get to a certain area on the pitch, and then we're just falling down a little bit. And it's that final third. We've got to make sure that we're confident in what we're doing when we've reached the final third. It all looks a little bit shaky at the moment.
Well, the throw goes down the line. Prelec just heads it out of play, so Charlton will have the throw now on halfway with Ramsey. Down the line it goes, looking for Lieburn. We'll get a good header on it, and Lafay will chase this into the penalty area, and it needs the interception of Hellick to get it out of play for a Charlton corner.
Yeah, and Miles is starting to dominate, which is good to see. I hope that gives him enough confidence to start really getting physical with their back line, because that's another brilliant little flick on into a great area, which has caused them to push this out for the corner. But that's 4 wins on the trot for Miles, whether it's a hold-up play or it's a flick on. And if he starts to dominate, that's going to get us on the front foot.
Apter to take this corner from the Charlton right-hand side. Swings it in. Good delivery, headed away by Brown. It was in a great bit of space, but sadly, Charlton had run to the sort of near post area, and there was nobody there to finish it. But the ball comes back in from Gillespie. Anderson looking for it, headed away, and it'll drop to Ramsey, who attempts the shot, misses it completely, but then gets the ball out to Apter. Tees up Bree on his right-hand side. Ball into the box. It's a good one. Lieber with a header. It might be a corner. No, thought it might have come off Brown, who went down level with him to try and stop him getting the header in. But it's a judge shot come off Miles and away for the goal kick.
If it was judged to come off Miles, it's a mistake, because I think that's come off their defender last, and I think that should be a corner ball. Again, just seeing the replay there, as that ball leaves Bree's foot, I'd like to see us on the move rather than just standing centrally waiting for the delivery. Can we make a little run, even if it's just 2-3 yards, just to get a little bit of space to win that initial header? If you don't move, you're always fighting, and it's really difficult to head a ball into the back of the net when you're fighting a centre half.
Goal kick from Cumming, goes straight out of play. Harris complaining that Ramsey was holding on to him. The referee thought nothing of it. It'll be a Charlton throw on the right-hand side. Anderson coming short for it, but Ramsey will go down the line. Again looking for Lieburn. Again Lieburn wins the header. Trying to tee up Coventry, who gets a touch, trying to find a Laffey. Cleared away. And then Bree tried to do likewise. Again cleared away. Jones with a defensive header away, and this might... Oh, I thought it was going to bounce kindly for Apter. But Volks just about deals with it, and he's face-to-face with Coventry. Referee's going to deal with that. I'm not entirely sure what Volks was worried about. Didn't see anything untoward there, particularly. But Volks took exception to it, and Coventry took exception to him taking exception. And so they're both having a chat now. I don't think it was a foul there, was there? Is he going to restart with a drop ball, or is he actually called for a foul, the referee? He has. Didn't see anything there, but there we are. Free kick to Oxford, just to the right of the centre circle in the Oxford half. Long ball forward to Lee. And Lee will get there as well, heads it backwards, but Coventry will pick it up with Charlton, trying to send Lieburn on his way on the right-hand side. Miles Lieburn. Brown coming across. Carey making the run ahead of him. Might just be too much of the pass. Carey, I think, wanted... If he'd have kept the run going at speed, he might have got there, but I think he sort of checked his run, hoping for a little touch ball, but that didn't come, and it's away for a goal kick. And after a word from Steve Brown, I shall be handing you over to Greg Stubley for league commentary for the rest of this first half.
Yeah, excellent ball from Connor Coventry to feed Miles Lieburn. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. We just don't seem ultra confident when we get into the final third. It's a little bit nervous. It's a bit nervy, and our passing's not quite where it should be. But Carey was well tracked off. I have to say, from their central midfielder, De Keersmaker, he's their ball player. He's not really been in the game as their ball player, but that's impressive tracking from him as a central midfielder.
Cheers, Tel. 0-0 after 22 minutes here at the Valley, and Charlton inside their own half. Lloyd Jones has just been taken out by that man, De Keersmaker. And Charlton will have the free kick. Jones wants to take it quickly. De Keersmaker is in the way, and the referee this afternoon, Elliot Bell, just waiting for Charlton to restart. Thomas Kaminski's come out of his goal to take, and Charlton will go long on the opposite side. You spoke about Miles Lieburn starting to dominate in terms of from an aerial perspective, and certainly 2 or 3 flick-ons are starting to find Charlton players are starting to gamble. This time Lieburn's come over to the left-hand side for this free kick. Jones and Gillespie have come up from the back as well, as Oxford have a line about 15 yards away from the penalty area. Kaminsky with the ball forward. Liebern almost getting there. Ramsey it is who flicks it on, headed away. Bree back towards the penalty area. Liebern again with the flick on. Davis this time with the clearance. All the way back it goes to Connor Coventry for Charlton. Inside the centre circle, looks for that long ball. Liebern wins the header again. This time it's inside and Davis can clear it away.
Right, look how we're set behind the ball. I mean, someone's got to get an eye on that. We were 3v1 against there on that long ball forward, and thankfully it went to Connor Coventry. But that needs a better bit of organisation behind the ball from Charlton Athletic.
Lee awkwardly back to Brown, who can only clear it away for a Charlton throw deep inside the Oxford half.
That certainly needs looking into, because I tell you what, the last thing you want to do is get caught on a second phase on a counter. Connor Coventry, the deepest player, 2 Oxford players either side of him, and 1 short. Switched off there.
Try and go back with the throw as Coventry to Gillespie. Looks diagonally towards Bree. It's headed away by Greg Lee. And again, we were just saying about Brownie. Oxford are able to gather the ball easily, and now we'll look to potentially counter, although Charlton have got bodies back as the ball comes to the left-hand side, and Lee switches play over to Hellick. Hellick will drift forward. Liebern does superbly well for Charlton to get back and win inside a free kick, quickly taken into Carey. First time out to Rob Apter on the left-hand side, and he's got space here. Apter approaching the penalty area, left-footed cross towards Carey, just over his head, but Bree will pick it up in space on the right-hand side. Bree looks for the low ball towards the near post and is cleared away by Brown. And that was a chance for Charlton to do something with that. Bit of quick thinking from Liebern and Carey.
Yeah, that's good link-up. That's some of the best link-up we've seen in terms of the decision on the quick free kick. Then the ball first time round the corner from Carey. They defended that well, Oxford. I mean, that ball in from Apter had to be inch perfect. There wasn't a lot of space to find Carey in.
Bree with the throw. Movement. Not getting much of it at the moment. Throws inside towards Coventry. Coventry gets the better of Tekiersmacher. Coventry trying to work a bit of space inside, and it's cleared away as Harris can look forward, and ball over the top on the right-hand side in space is Prelek. Prelek will keep it in. Only Gillespie to face. Jones is also back there for Charlton. Prelek cuts inside, thinks about a left-footed effort, goes for it, but it's straight at Kaminsky. Immediately rolls it out to Carey. Charlton look to counter. Carey out to left to Apter, cuts back inside and finds Gillespie. Leaves it for Rob Apter, and Charlton will restart with Kaminsky. Inside to Anderson. That's good play from Charlton. Work a little bit of space. That's the first shot on target.
Yeah, just about to say that. We're 26 minutes and the first shot came in the 25th. Comfortable save for Kaminsky. Ramsey just gone for a bit of a diagonal from right side of the centre half to Alafe, high left, and it's gone straight through to their goalkeeper. But yeah, again, promising moments for Charlton until that final third. And if we can start to get that on point, I think there'll be a few opportunities. But we've just got to be careful on how many players we risk going forward to unlock, because we have left ourselves a little short a couple of times behind the ball.
Oxford United have the free kick. Romani's fouled by Coventry. It'll be Oxford's turn to send bodies forward as they prepare a long free kick.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking my break. We spent off the battle the game.
Into the area, leave better away. Good from Wells.
Yeah, I think it's fair. On occasions, you can be more aggressive. He can work hard. He is young. He's come back a few weeks injury-wise. He's more like Miles. You know, put yourself in. Battle as you can. There's a player in there for sure.
Jones to Ramsey. Steps forward with the ball, Kane Ramsey. He's still with it. The Charlton defender up towards Alafe. Lovely first time ball to find Bree. James Bree with the chance and coming with the save. Brilliant football, Charlton.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about linking up in the final third. It's a brilliant ball into Alafe. It's on his right-hand side. That's a delightful cushion around the corner. First time on the volley from Alafe. One bounce into the path of Bree. The only chance he's got really is the volley down low, right inside the far post. He goes for power, and it's right at the goalkeeper coming. It's a decent save, but he had to go low, maybe one bounce into the ground just inside the far post, which was in the right-hand post for coming.
And it started with a really good run from Ramsey as well. Charlton corner, Apter to take towards the far post, looking for Gillespie. It's well headed away by Kieran Brown. Romney will pick it up for Oxford. Forced back by Leeburn. It's a risky ball towards Cumming, his goalkeeper. Does well to clear it away long. It's good control from Mark Harris up front for Oxford, who work the ball back inside their own half. Volks has time to turn. As it comes to Davis. Exchanges passes with De Keersmaker. Charlton haven't reset defensively. Conor Coventry's under in the left wing back spot, and the ball goes over to that side as Brodie Spencer with the ball in the box. Lloyd Jones has to practically head it off the floor to concede the corner.
Broke his nose in that one. Yeah, you make a decision. I know it's you know, it gets a giggle out of me, but I've been there. You make a decision early what you're going to use and how you're going to get it clear. And he committed to the header early, and it died in front of him. So it's almost been a half volley with the head when it should have really been a left foot clearance. But yeah, I understand why he committed to that header.
Corner's taken. And towards Brown, good header away by that man Jones that time.
That's a good header.
6 foot in the air as the ball comes out to Keersmaker, inside to Volks. Looks to the far post. Lee's got a free header back towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Jones. Laffey jumps up well and controls for Charlton. Looks forward. Ball inside to Anderson, who does well to hold his man off. He's got Apter on the left-hand side if he can find him. Ball slightly behind Apter, but he controls. Will look to take on to Keersmaker and gets past him as well. He's holding him back. Apter will accept the free kick. And Keersmaker will have to be booked. And is.
Yeah, it's without any shadow of a doubt a booking. You're dragging that player back who's got away from you, but we've done really well there because we were never quite in control of that from the moment Alafe got the turnover to the ball into Anderson. We were never quite in control, and Anderson using his body so well, good strength to get a turn away. And the ball was just behind Apter. If he'd gone outside of the right, so it fell into his path, I think we'd have seen a really more aggressive run down that left-hand side from Apter, but nevertheless it's led to a little free kick. We can load the box.
Bree comes across to take. 31 minutes played, still 0-0. Opportunity here perhaps for Charlton. Carey lurking outside the penalty area as well as Bree. Right-footed ball in, it's a decent looking delivery. It's been flicked on, I think, by an Oxford United player, and the referee agrees. I think it was Spencer with the final header. Charlton corner.
Yeah, and that is in exactly the slot you want it to be delivered in. Pace, accuracy, and again you're just looking for someone to match the quality of the ball with a decent run, but give them a little bit of credit. That was well defended.
Apter over on the right hand side to take again. Bree is short for a short option, and it does go to James Bree. Ball is not the greatest, and it's headed away and further cleared by Romney as Carey back to Coventry. Coventry looks for the diagonal towards the left-hand side. Jones will jump. Jones wins the header initially. Ball comes down. Brown heads it away. Then Spencer. Anderson gets a touch. The ball comes down to Sonny Carey with a strike, and it's low and firm, but fairly comfortably wide in the end.
Just dragged it, didn't he? And that's one of the downsides when you go for power, is you sometimes tend to try and get so much power you end up dragging it on the technique. And he's just pulled it across his body, low down to the right. But again, you know, battling away, starting to, I think, slowly get on top.
Coming with the goal kick. Goes long, lead the target. Bree jumps well. Ball's up in the air. Leeburn again with another flick on towards Bree. Headed away by Davis, and then Leeburn's header looking for Carey. Can Carey get there? He can. Touches it to Alafe. Tanto Alafe for Charlton. It's saved by Cumming. Carey's there, but it's over the bar. Glorious chance for the Addicts.
Yeah. Listen, we've scrambled our way to get the opportunities. Excellent from Leeburn again. He's having one of those games where he's becoming unplayable. But are we going to rue those chances, that double miss? Alafe gets something away. It bobbles in front of him onto his left-hand side, and he gets the shot away initially. It's a good save from the goalkeeper. The follow-up from Carey underneath the shot, and over the bar it goes. And Charlton should be in front.
Carey did superbly well initially to make that touch. Lafayette straight at the keeper, I suppose. The complaint there from Charlton perspective, coming, making the save, and then Carey just using his right instead of his left. Not the easiest chance on the rebound, but one he'll know that he should have definitely done a lot better.
But we're racking up chances, which we weren't. Bree's volley, you know, and it's now just making sure you get a little bit of quality on the technique and the final shot. We've had a great opportunity from Bree, one from Alafe. And again, if they're low and into the corner, you probably see Charlton in front.
Ramsey does superbly well. As the ball's back by Coventry towards Kaminski. Goes on towards Leeburn. This time it's over his head. Hellick heads it forward. Anderson for Charlton heads to his right. Kiesmacher will pick it up. Looks to go down the line. Anderson makes the challenge. Ramsey makes a further challenge for Charlton. His ball's back to Coventry. Inside to Lloyd Jones. It's awkwardly back to Kaminski and concedes the corner.
I want Ramsey to go forward. I've got to be honest here. I don't want him to go back to Jones, and then Jones to Kaminski. I want Ramsey to win the ball and look forward. And even if he just turns them round for Leeburn into the channel, we should never be facing a corner against. And sometimes you've got to be more positive in possession. Yeah, I know we, in this day and age, look towards possession-based football, but it's not that kind of day.
Especially given Leeburn's joy at winning flick-ons in the last 20 minutes. I think you said it earlier, Brown, it's not a day where you need to overthink it from a defensive point of view.
Well, and we're on top as well, and the front boys are having a bit of joy. They're starting to bully, they're starting to get opportunities, they're starting to win headers.
Kiesmacher to take towards the near post. Coventry heads it away. Romney across to Vaux. Vaux back into the penalty area. Leeburn this time with the header. Down towards Alafe, controls, looks to take his man on, and again maybe the wrong decision as Harris is there. Coventry with a strong challenge. Referee plays on, which is a surprise, but Oxford still have the ball as Vaux ball in the box. Leeburn this time again with the clearance. Alafe awkwardly clears, and Coventry.
I'd get him up front as quick as I could.
Better forward by Spencer Leeburn. And Bree touches to the right-hand side. Charlton making so many unnecessary errors in 1 minute here. Kiesmacher ball forward. It's over the top of his intended target.
Honestly, if
Charlton can take a breather as the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Sorry, bud. If that had led to anything, you'd have just been sat here scratching your heads because you'd have gone, how many poor decisions was that in a 30-second spell? Just panicking a little bit. But we've managed to see it out. But it's all started from Ramsey going backwards, you know, and we can't forget that. We brought this spell of possession on ourselves, and this is why I think we need to just make sure we're nice and positive when we get in. Can we look forward first? Oh, this is a poor spell from Charlton now. This is 2 minutes of pressure we've absolutely brought upon ourselves.
Again, it's just so unnecessary. Ramsey this time ball back to Kaminski. Did have a player coming over to him, but
it's gone back with too much pace. You either fizz it in hard on that so you force him to take out, which you don't really want him to do, or you leave it short so he comes onto it and smashes it down the pitch.
Throwing down the line, Ramsey goes across and wins the ball. Romney goes down to the floor, not quite sure why. The ball's up towards Leeburn, competing with Brown, who clears forward. Coventry controls, he looks immediately forward towards Leeburn, who will give chase. Davis can only go back to his goalkeeper here and coming with the first time clearance. Straight to Carey, good control from Sonny Carey, then the second touch just let him down. Brown makes the challenge, but Apter now for Charlton. Inside to Anderson. Now Carey, lovely ball finds Bree. Bree has space, thinks about a shot, cuts inside Bree, still with it. Out to the right hand side is Leeburn. Leeburn back into the penalty here and headed away by Lee. Anderson first to it for Charlton. Brilliant from the Charlton youngster. Here's Carey. On the right hand side is Leeburn. Lays it back to Coventry. First time cross over the head of Alafe, and Spencer heads it back to his goalkeeper. Immediately looks for the long clearance forward. Gillespie with defending to do. Gillespie gets the header down to it, but it falls nicely from Romani. It's an awful touch, and Coventry makes the challenge. And then Macaulay Gillespie turns into Ronaldinho over back heel. And Charlton will look to play forward. There's Ramsey up to Alafe. It's a heavy ball forward looking for Carey. And the mistakes keep mounting in this match. Still 0-0. Make of the switch of play to Spencer. It's a lovely ball. Spencer controls. Apter gets across and heads the ball down. And now Gillespie forward to Anderson. Anderson for Charlton. Ball inside, slightly risky to Alafe. Did well to control. And now Ramsey has space. Ramsey with a through ball looking for Carey. It's a good one, and Carey can drive for Charlton. Flicks it forward to Lieber, who's going to be offside. And that's the correct decision.
It is, but with Miles dragging that defender over away to left, that leaves Carey 1v1 down the centre of the pitch. I think if he drags it from right to left and drives central at the one defender left, I fancy him to take him on, a bit like hip switch away. Go on, go at him, drive him into the penalty area, take him on. It was a good run for Miles, but it didn't need to be played in. He was dragging a defender over with him to leave Carey 1v1 centrally. Again, wrong decision, but they are wide open, by the way. The game's become a little bit open, but they are wide open. You know, we've got to take advantage of this period, get our nose in front before half-time.
Jones with the header forward. Lieburn trying to get there, and the ball comes back towards the Charlton defence, and Lloyd Jones has been fouled. The Addicts will have the free kick, which Kaminski comes out of his goal to take. Yeah, it's been a frantic last 10 minutes or so. Charlton should have scored through either Alafe or the subsequent rebound for Carey.
We've had the Briarf chance. It's on the it's 1v1, but it's on the angle. It's a difficult strike, but you know, with a decent amount of accuracy, you're one up. That was a very good opportunity. We've just got to make sure we don't make any crazy mistakes. This defence has got a goal against in it. We've just got to make sure we go back to that clean sheet mentality that served us so well earlier in the season.
Carey back to Coventry. Now Anderson. It's Coventry again. Back to Jones, who's got closing him down. Jones back to Kaminski and forward to Lloyd Jones again, who looks forward and looks for the run of Alafe. Alafe jumps, it's a decent leap, heads it forward as Oxford clear. Anderson with the header up in the air. Carey looking to compete against Harris, and referee allows play to continue as Kearsmaker looks to bring it forward. Coventry does well to get back. Looks to take on Coventry again, and the Charlton man makes the challenge.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Coventry there going backwards, and we've just criticised Ramsey for doing the same, but Coventry then looks forward. When we keep possession, he looks forward and he says, I need something, I need an option in front ahead of the ball. You're forcing me to go back, because there was no movement higher up the pitch, and you could just see a little exchange between Carey, Lieburn, Alafe and Coventry there.
Brown all the way back to Cumming. So we play 41 minutes, still 0-0 here at the Valley. Game that Charlton have, the last 20 minutes, certainly been the better than Oxford, without being fantastic. As Davis drifts forward and looks for the switch of play over to the right-hand side is Spencer, who keeps it in, but Apter makes the challenge, and Apter trying to get to the ball. She's been bundled over.
No, foul. Let's give a foul.
Spencer was unaware that the foul had been given and thought he could have a run at Gillespie. Instead, Charlton do have the free kick on the left-hand side. Apter, considering his first game at left wing back, doing okay at the moment for Charlton.
Yeah, well, Spencer started off very well in the first 30 minutes or so. I thought he was not bad on the front foot. But I'm pretty sure he's had a lengthy injury. I'm pretty sure he's been outside for a while. But, you know, I think as he enters the latter stages, 60, 65, 70, I think we'll keep an eye on him physically.
Brannigan's a real miss for Oxford, the captain, central midfielder.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I've got to say, I am surprised he's never had a move out of there.
Yeah.
He's always caught the eye on him when we've visited. Very good player.
Free kick is cleared away by Hellick. And Coventry out to the left-hand side is Apter. Back to Connor Coventry. Looks to switch the play forward. Bree will jump. Greg Lee heads it away. Carey of the initial header, and then away would Header by Romani will allow Charlton the throw. He wants to get on with things as Leeburn makes a run inside. Carey to Bree. Leeburn lays it off for Carey. Looks down the line towards Bree. Gets something to it, but Brown flicks it away towards Harris, who's been dragged to the floor by Troy Anderson.
Yeah, just got caught wrong side. When you get caught wrong side and you're trying to physically still trying to win that ball, you do put yourself in a position where physical contact gives away the free kick. But again, just, you know, we've had moments of quality in the final third, but when it's not, when we don't have that quality, it looks like that. You know, we had good possession there, and you know, once the ball goes up in the air and it's just a hook on in behind their defence, you put yourself in a 50-50 position.
Kids back with the free kick back to Davis. Runs forward and finds Harris. Kids back inside. On the right hand side is Volks. Further right. This ball comes back to Davis. Now Cumming will to left hand side, lead with the header inside. It's a little flick looking for the run of Romani. Romani controls and looks up. Looks for the run towards the far post. Apter with a brilliant header away. Spencer applying the pressure. Charlton have to concede the corner.
Yeah, I thought there was a little foul there, actually, on Apter. It's a really good defensive header to get it away from Spencer, who's coming in behind him, but I thought his challenge was late. Nevertheless, not given. Corner, Oxford.
Kiesmacher over on the right-hand side to take. Charlton with everyone back. So we just to the 45th minute. Wait to see how much added time is given by referee Elliot Bell as the corner's taken. Slightly overhit, and Carey on the volley clears it away. Apter will give chase as the ball bounces. Header forward by Spencer. Anderson with the header down, but it's a slightly poor header and allows Romani to go over to the right-hand side. So we've got one added minute at the end of this first half. Brown for Oxford. Looks up, looks at the ball towards the edge of the penalty area. It's controlled down to Harris with the first time effort, and it's comfortably over.
Yeah, I mean that's a 1 in 100, isn't it? Chesting away from goal, 25 yards out, rising ball on the volley. That would have been stupendous if that had found the back of the net.
We're just under 20,000 here, just before Christmas. 19,594 attendance inside SE7.
A couple of thousand Oxford, which is good. Scrooge delivering a note there.
Ball forward.
Oh no, Scoop, sorry, not Scrooge.
Jolt with the throw. Carey up towards Alafe. Heads it down to Sonny Carey again. Carey driving inside the penalty area. Still with it, Carey. Carey with a shot narrowly wide. And that was the last piece of action in that first half. Sonny Carey so close for Charlton. He also had another chance early in the half after Tanto Alafe's shot was saved initially by Cumming. Carey's effort then went over the bar. Breeze also seen a shot saved by Cumming. But half-time here is Charlton 0, Oxford 0. The Haddocks going so close just before half-time, Browning.
Yeah. I mean, that's the keeper beaten. Cumming's got no chance of getting down to that, making the save. And that's why I think he should have gone at the defender centrally 1v1 earlier when Miles Leeburn dragged the second defender away, because he just possesses that ability to dribble very quickly in possession, and he can off-balance defenders quite quickly because of the pace that he can travel in possession of the ball. But yeah, I mean, you can't do a lot more without taking the lead, to be honest with you. We have dominated in chances. We've had some very, very good ones. The Alafe and Carey follow-up will be the standout one, but Breeze volley is an opportunity. That chance there, right at the death with Carey, is an opportunity. And they've rustled up one shot on target from Prelek, which P-rolled to Kaminski, and two long shots that didn't trouble Kaminski. So we're definitely on top, and Nathan Jones will be very, very frustrated walking down that tunnel that we aren't in front.
Certainly so. Well, myself and Brownie will go for a break here at half-time. We leave you, as it is Christmas week, we've got a special Christmas, it's also Christmas Spirit Day at the Valley, I should say, as well. We've got a special video to bring you as Charlie Kelman, who's returned to the Charlton squad on the bench this afternoon. He's got in the spirit of things with this special video.
Yeah, so obviously I've reached out to yourself and the club. Obviously Christmas is right around the corner, and you know there's some people out there who aren't as fortunate as everyone else, and I like to do something every year. So obviously being somewhere now permanently for a few years, I want to be able to get involved in the community. So I wanted to give back and get some presents to some people who might not be as privileged to wake up on Christmas as some of us were when we were growing up. So I met some wonderful people down at the club shop who were amazing, telling me about the club and telling us about how proud they are of the boys and the journey that they've been on from when the gaffer first come in, or when some of them even first started their jobs. They obviously threw in some extra stuff, which was, I didn't expect it, and it really helped out. So I'm just thankful, and it's just nice meeting people who make the club tick day to day. Obviously Reebok have been a massive help. Obviously I just wanted to see what sort of stuff they'd send. I expected 10 pairs of shoes, but they sent 2 boxes full of stuff. So I'm just thankful to everyone who's helped me make it happen. We as footballers have a certain pressure, but I think real pressure comes from trying to keep a roof over your and your kid's head every month, and being able to take that ease or help off some people around this time of the year is always a good feeling. And especially being injured, you sort of, some of the things you take for granted, like playing week in, week out, and doing something you love, and when it gets taken away from you like that, it's sort of painful. So being able to just take a step back and understand that some things are bigger than football is a nice feeling. But I'm just ready to get back, get playing, and hopefully bring some smiles to people's faces.
It's absolutely fabulous. It's a fabulous surprise for our families and young people. Some of them was able to come and watch a match, and now they're able to wear the kit, and they're absolutely flabbergasted and lost for words, really. It's fantastic. The manager here at Hawksmoor for 14 years. It's primarily a youth club, but we realised that it takes a village to help support families in the community and young people. So now we've got family sessions. We're open 6 days a week, 50 weeks of the year, and we try and help everybody. It's about bringing the people together, enjoying ourselves in a safe space, having a little bit of Christmas fun and celebrating the end of the year. We just love bringing people together and making sure that we empower them to live their best, healthiest lives possible. We are in a very diverse area, a very deprived area. We have lots of families on low income, so they come here for a free dinner every week, and it's making sure that people get to know each other. Even if English is their second language, it's about knowing how to communicate with each other and support each other.
I've been coming to the youth club for about 6 years now, so it's just a nice way for me to give back and help out all the families. There's a lot of young people here who have only started coming to the youth club, and I want them to get the full experience. It was really nice to meet Charlie today, and great that he wanted to give back.
Thank you, Charlie, for your gifts today and for coming to see our family session and supporting us. It's been fantastic.
Valley Gold will get the chance to take just one kick today from the edge of the V, and if you hit the crossbar, you will win a cash prize. If you miss, the prize fund rolls over an extra £500 added each time, and you know what it is today, £13,500! I know. Now, taking the challenge this afternoon is Sam Carpenter on behalf of Craig Scott, who's got dodgy knee. A few other dodgy things played as well. Right, Sam, how you feeling? We'll see you. Right. You're one shot to win £13,500. Remember. Want to be something else. A £10 one to shot voucher as well. He can have that, he just said. So there we go. What have you won? A £10 one to shot voucher. Never mind, Sam. Please give a huge round of applause. Next time, £14,000.
Okay, mate, baseball. Now to some big money winners. If you cast your eye to the big screen, first up, Valley Gold winners for today. First prize winner, a fantastic £750 is P. Winchester. There they are up on the big screen. A very big congratulations for winning today's first place Valley Gold prize. And then also there's a rotating string of runners-up that will all be winning £50 each. So there you go. Good work, guys. And now for the jackpot draw winner. As you can see up on the screen, £1,000 coming the way of M. Watson Harwood. Good work. And then runner-up in the jackpot draw winning £100 is R. Allen. And as usual, someone from Valley Gold will be in touch with all the winners and runners-up. And if you want to be in with a chance of winning some of these fantastic prizes, including being involved in the crossbar challenge, all you need to do is join Valley Gold. And you can do that by heading online to valleygold.org.uk. It's just £10 a month and supports some fantastic areas of our football club, including our prestigious academy. And one more final look at the big screen before the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, if you take a look up there now, that is
Well, welcome back to Charlton TV. We're at half-time here. The Alex 0, Oxford United 0. Spoke about some of the Charlton chances in that first half. James Bree and a shot saved by Jamie Cummings inside the penalty area. Then Tanto Alafe, left-footed effort, palmed away initially by Cummings before Carey was unable to hit the target. And just before half-time, the last kick of the game, in fact, Sonny Carey going really close with left-footed effort that just drifted wide of the right-hand post. Charlton preparing to come out for this second half, and what's suddenly become a cold SE7. We're just a little moan about how cold it's getting, and then I remember we got to go to Blackburn in the start of January on a Sunday. That's going to be fun. But looking at the table, Brownie, as we were at half-time, and I know results can change elsewhere, of course, but as it stands, it would be such a huge result if Charlton were to win today.
Yeah, I think as we sit here, if we were to take the lead and then manage to take all 3 points, we'd be 7 points above the relegation zone, which is what I was alluding to before kick-off, which is that there isn't cause for too much panic, and this result, I think, with that daylight in between, would make it much easier going into Boxing Day and the Portsmouth game. But we've picked up for sure in sort of like the last 30 minutes of that first half, where we were dominant. You could see us starting to take control of the game. Our front two started to work their back line. Carey suddenly started to get involved a lot more than he was in the first 15-20 minutes, and quite honestly, we should be in front. It's just a lack of a finish to the great opportunities that we created that stopped us taking the lead. And it's not like their keeper's pulled off Worldies. He's pulled off 2 shots that were straight at him, and then rebounds that have missed the target, or shots that we've put over the bar. So, we're well worthy of being in front here today, but we've got a lot of work to do to get ourselves in front. So I think it's an Oxford side that I can see why they're only 1 win in 9, and I can see why they can see goals. But all the time you don't take advantage of a performance where you're in control. You do leave the door slightly ajar for the opponents to walk through, and that's my fear here today. But I do think we've got a couple of options off the bench that could impact this game as well.
Certainly so. One of them potentially Charlie Kelman. Good to see him back, and if those who watched at half-time have seen that lovely video that he was involved with during the week as well. As Charlton get us underway for the second half, shooting towards the covered end here at the Valley. Joined on Charlton TV by myself, Greg Sublin, alongside me, Steve Brown and Terry Smith. And a production sponsored by NordVPN. As Lloyd Jones, a long ball forward, headed away by Hellick up towards Harris, who heads the ball down, but Ramsey's there for Charlton and takes a touch and goes all the way back to Kaminski. A bit of an awkward ball for the goalkeeper to deal with, but he deals with it well as the ball's cleared up towards Lieber. And Lieber with the header forward. Hellick with the header back towards the Charlton half. Coventry rises with his header. Vaux back to Brown, who clears it forward. No one there for Oxford. Charlton will gather with Kaminski. Now Jones out to the right to Ramsey. Ramsey looks at the ball up towards Alafe, headed down by Hellick. And the second ball, Anderson will compete for it. It's a good header back for Oxford as the ball's cleared forward. Ball looking for Kismaker, and it's out of play, and Charlton will have the throw. Ramsey took a little knock at the end of that, letting the ball go out of play, but he's okay. No changes for either side at half-time.
No changes in formation or personnel, so it's as you were.
Ramsey with the throw up towards Lieber, who's judged to have just had too much pressure on Greg Lee.
Yeah, I'd much rather he gave away free kicks, actually, being physical, because Lee's not small. Like I said earlier, physically a very strong player. Eburn on top of that, so I don't mind him giving away those free kicks. I'd much rather see him physical than not.
Brown with the ball forward. Gillespie trying to get there. Ramsey with the header forward. That's come back off Oxford players. The ball's up towards Alafe. I think it's going to be offside.
Yeah,
and
come back late. Yeah.
Oxford. The free kick. Hellick wants to take it quickly. He's put it in a decent channel, which Gillespie does well to cut off. And Gillespie's clearance, after doing the hard work, can only just go out of play for an Oxford throw. And Spencer will leave for Vaux, who, as we've seen, is certainly capable of throwing into the penalty area.
Yeah, it's corner to 6, isn't it? Just a little bit short of that. So it's not like long throws we've seen down here this year. Some have reached middle of the 6, but this is corner to 6. But still, you've got to do that work. You've got to make sure you get first contact. You've got to set yourself for
Throw comes in towards the near post, headed away by Anderson, and Carey helps it on his way. So Lafay will give chase. Ball forward is high by Davis.
I mean, that's just a smash into the air as high as it will go. I mean, could you? I mean, in this occasion, you could turn around and go all the way back to your goalkeeper. But I mean, it's gone 70 foot up in the air. I mean, I understand no risk football, but there was hardly any pressure. Only a laugh up the field. Just turn around, go back to your keeper, start again.
Kaminsky with the goal kick.
Come on.
To Keersmaker, who heads it out of play. Charlton with the throw. And there's a bit of a quiet start to the second half.
But I don't know if he's trying to caress that into an area. You know, I'm saying go as long as you can. With, you know, Lee Burn's having a good day aerially, physically. Go as long as you can.
Ball forward by Ramsey's headed on and comes down to Keersmaker. Looks to take it beyond Anderson. Challenge comes in from Carey. Comes off the Charlton man last. Keersmaker looking to get on with things, but instead it will be Volks again to line up long throws. Similar start to the second half as it was the first, you'd say, with Oxford having a couple of early long throws. It's gone backwards this time to Davis. Volks to Davis again. As they exchange passes once more. Volks back into the penalty area. It's high and it's won by Helek, and then Kaminsky has to come and punch it away. It's a wayward punch, but it's out of danger, but it will be an Oxford corner.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's not the most convincing. That is a ball that's come in from 40, 50 yards deep. They've won mate first contact, and he's not got a clean contact on the fist punch, Kaminsky. He goes behind him and out for the corner.
Keersmaker to take. Towards the far post, decent looking delivery. Gillespie does well with his header, but it's back out to Volks into the penalty area again. Bree comes across to head it out of danger, but Volks will come over to take a potential long throw. As Oxford leave Brown, Lee and Helek forward for this. It goes backwards. Keersmaker. Now Volks, first time ball in the penalty area. Decent looking delivery, headed away by Gillespie, and Apter will give chase for Charlton. He'll get there, Rob Apter. As the Addicts look to counter-attack. Good challenge comes in from Spencer. Should be a Charlton throw. Almost given the way of Oxford. That looks a little bit generous, but decision's been made, and Ramsey's fallen to the floor.
And you can boo all you like, but I'm told he's had a slight injury this week. They weren't sure if he was going to get out here or not, so this is quite worrying. But what I would say is that last ball in is well dealt with aerially, and as it falls to Apter, I think Coventry can give him a little shout, a little reverse turn, and we're in possession and breaking out, funny enough, on a diagonal down the right-hand side, but it didn't seem like Apter got that call. He wasn't aware that Coventry was in support.
Just seems to be the Charlton way. As soon as you get one or two coming back, another one will potentially fall. And yeah, Ramsey looked like he was struggling when the ball went out of play early in the second half. And I didn't know if that was I wasn't aware he was potentially injured this week, but he looked uncomfortable when that ball went out of play. I didn't know if it was a bit of an impact thing there, but Adam Coe, the physio, just asking questions to Ramsey.
Well, the initial question would be, what do you do if he has to come off?
I mean, right-sided centre-half is a position that James Bree has played before,
well,
but then it obviously leaves us short in the wing-back area.
Yeah, I think we got a lad in Rankin Costello that could do a job in a defensive position for you. And it's just whether you're confident, because you probably haven't done any work with Rankin Costello in defensive positions during training. He's a lad that's not had many minutes, but I thought he came on at Birmingham, gave a good showing last week. He's got good pedigree in terms of championship minutes up at Blackburn.
Well, we'll come on to Rankin Costello shortly, because it's actually Keenan Goff who's got himself ready to go. Ramsey's come over to the touchline. He might want to give it another 5 minutes or so and see how he goes. Charlton for the time being down to 10 men as Ramsey is off the pitch. Volks lines up a long throw. into the penalty area. It's headed down. It's a chance to Kismack of the shot blocked by Carey, and then back in the penalty areas. Anderson clears it away. Prelitz it was who got the ball into the box. Charlton having to clear.
I'd
to
have to
reorganise themselves.
Yeah, I'd have to question Prellick and why hasn't just volleyed that down into the ground straight at Kaminsky. The lofted ball back in gives us a chance to clear. That's half a chance for Oxford.
Vaults of the ball in the penalty area. It's a good control. Hellick down, and it's a chance for Oxford, and they can't find the back of the net. It was Brown on his weaker right foot. The pressure came in from Coventry. It was in the area where Ramsey would have been for Charlton.
Yeah, I mean, it was all very scrappy, but as it comes down, he's just pushed off balance. I'm not quite sure who that is. It might be Apter, but there's a little nudge at a crucial moment that unbalances Brown, and he scoops it high and wide. But that is a huge opportunity and a little bit of a wake-up call for Charlton, because we've been second best so far. Was it Bree?
It was Bree with the challenge.
Bree.
It's a vital challenge. It's the right decision, a goal kick.
It's just that little nudge that unbalances Brown, and it's a big nudge as well, because without it, I think that finds the back of the net.
And Charlton been relieved it was Brown on his weaker right foot.
But there's your wake-up call. It's been a sloppy start. It's been a slow start. We've got to get on the front foot.
Coventry forward for Charlton, up towards Lieber. Good control, heads it down the line. Davis clears it away. As all deflects down to Carey. Carey towards Alafe. Alafe out back to Coventry. Down the line to Bree, controls. Bree, right-footed ball in the penalty area. Is awkward, and it comes all the way to Apter at the far post. Raptor trying to open up a bit of space. Cuts back inside. Ball in the box, headed away. And further cleared. Anderson now for Charlton. Out to left to Apter. Back to Gillespie. Apter again. Exchange passes once more. Gillespie, ball down the line's a good one. Anderson will get there for Charlton. Anderson holds the ball up, turns inside. Trying to work a bit of space for a cross. Finds Carey instead. Carey looking for movement. Ball in the box. Davis this time heads it away, only as far as Coventry. Lovely ball finds Apter. Apter with a chance and coming with the save. Dive into his left. It's a decent stop, a decent effort from Apter.
Yeah. And he does take that extra touch to compose himself, which is why he gets the right shot away. And that really did test coming. He was at full strength, stretch to get his fingertips on that and push it wide. But I love that little extra quarter of a second, half a second that Apter took with that control to make sure that he got the right shot away technically. Good save coming.
It was a lovely ball from Coventry to find Apter. He probably didn't realise how much space he had initially when he saw the sight of goal. Coming with a save. Charlton with the corner. Bree to take towards the near post. Cleared away. That's a disappointing delivery. Doesn't beat the man on the near post as the ball's all the way back by Carey to Coventry. Coventry looks forward, looks for the ball to the right hand side to Bree. It's a difficult ball for Bree to control. Now to play it goes for an Oxford throw.
Yeah, and when Coventry plays that ball forward, I'm telling you, if they win the initial ball up, they've got 4 players, maybe 5, wrong side of our midfield, right? So if they win that header, we've just got to make sure we're a little bit more alert behind the ball. It's always from initially our set pieces. It's the second phase. When Oxford clear, we don't recover into a defensive shape particularly well. We're waiting for that next ball up. That's another knock on Ramsey's ankle. He's not going to like that.
Yeah, he's still continuing out there, Kane Ramsey. Goff's now got his tracksuit back on and he's back warming up. But obviously, Charlton need to think about a busy schedule coming up as well as Lieber flicks it on, looking for Alafe. It's cleared away. Charlton will have the throw.
Yep, it's another aerial win. I'd like to see how many aerial duels Miles has won today. I've been critical in the past of him not being physical enough, not winning enough aerial duels. Well, today he is. He's got the measure of that Oxford backline.
Bree with the throw all the way back to Coventry, who in turn has to go all the way back to Kaminsky. It's good pressure from Harris. Kaminsky under pressure. Out the left-hand side is Apter. Apter not a lot inside or back.
Yeah. He needed Jones, didn't he, to work the line rather than go on the diagonal. But he's done well. Charlton have done well, actually, to keep possession.
A poor decision from Bree. He's go back in the first place. It's Ramsey with the long ball forward towards Leeburn, who's unlucky. His control just didn't quite fall into his path. As the ball forwards awkwardly touched by Anderson, and Gillespie back to Kaminsky. He's got Ramsey on the right-hand side. Ramsey looking to step beyond Harris. It's done well, Ramsey, to stay on his feet. Lovely 1-2 with Carey. Ramsey looks up. He's got Anderson in space on the left-hand side. Anderson with Apter further left. He comes over to Rob Apter. Chance to take on Spencer. Cuts inside. Still with it, Apter. Drifting in field. Looks towards Alafe. It's cut out. And then Oxford looks to break, and there's a late challenge from Anderson. Might find himself in the book. Certainly a talking to was on Romani. Said Oxford, I think, just going to have to settle for the free kick as we've played 58 minutes, still 0-0.
Yeah. You can't take that out of Anderson's game either, because when that ball's cleared and goes into feet, the first thought in Anderson's head is, I've got to press that, I've got to get on top of it, I've got to try and make the challenge to maintain the pressure. And he will get one or two wrong, but I like his instinct, which is to get on the front foot and try and stop them getting out.
Coming with the free kick, headed away by Jones. Up towards Leeburn, does really well again. Leeburn finds Carey, and Charlton have got options here as Carey drifts forward. Carey looks for Anderson on the left-hand side. Anderson in the penalty area, cuts back inside. Anderson still with it, lays it off for Leeburn. Leeburn further right is Coventry. Drifted a little bit further than he'd like. Moves slightly stalled, but still with it. Charlton as Bree down the line to Carey. Carey low ball in, and Davis clears it away. Only as far as Coventry. Coventry, the ball towards the far post. Flicked on by Volks, and Charlton will have to settle for the throw, but this is good pressure. Apter with the throw. Anderson, Apter again. He's got space to move in field, instead finds Coventry. Seeing a lot of the ball, Connor Coventry. Out to the right is Bree. Bree, lofted ball in the box, looks towards Lieber, does really well to keep it alive. Ball's headed down only as far as Apter. Apter with the strike and over the bar.
Yeah, that's a really good get, isn't it, from Leeburn? That ball's drifting out of play, telescopic leg, right leg goes up, hooks it back in, and Apter with the shot, fierce shot over the crossbar. But this is a good response from Charlton. I thought it was a sloppy start to the second half. They've responded well in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes. They're on top. This Oxford team, for me personally, is absolutely there for the taking.
Well, we're going to see a return of Charlie Kelman. Maybe Charlton sensing that there's chances still in this game. Alafe is the man to make way on 60 minutes. Good to see Kelman back. Of course, his last Charlton appearance was his first goal. The game against Swansea.
Well, listen, that's a nice response from the Charlton fans. Maybe it gives him a little lift. We know he can finish. He's proven himself as a finisher. He just needs to settle into his Charlton career. But I think there's an opportunity for him here today. He's an intelligent forward. I think the amount Miles Leeburn's been cushioning, flicking, I think he'll feed off that. And as I say that, Miles just gets done for the first time.
Well, Kelman straight into the game, intercepts a loose ball by Volks. Kelman ball down the line, comes off Brown. Charlton with the throw.
Yeah, you might not get the physicality of Alafe, and he might not quite shut down as quickly as Alafe can, but the intelligence is there, that little bit of movement, a little bit of trickery, that good finish inside the penalty area. And Nathan Jones has given him a good 30 minutes to try and find a goal.
Oh, Jones with the ball forward. It's a great run by Kelman, but Spencer as well to cover.
Got to get it up behind that, haven't we? So run off the shoulder, it's a headed clearance, and we haven't really shuffled forward onto the front foot as a midfield. Could have got on top of that, knocked down a bit better, I think.
Coventry for Charlton steps forward and to left to Gillespie, back to Kaminsky. Inside to Anderson. Anderson turns and has Ramsey on the right-hand side, and Ramsey has space ahead of him. Inside is Sonny Carey now on the right-hand side. Backwards to Anderson. Down the line to Bree. Bree flicks it forward, looking for Ramsey, and Brown committed and had to get there. Makes the challenge, Charlton throw. Bree looking to take down the line to Coventry. Coventry lofted ball on bounds here. It's awkward for Spencer, who flicks it on. Apter will keep this in on the left-hand side for the Addicts. Apter, left-footed ball in towards Kelman. It's headed away. Flicked on by Romani for Oxford. As Greg Lee, the left wing back, then looks forward. But Oxford are really struggling to get any sort of possession.
I don't want to look. They're struggling for a reason. They don't quite know how to cope with what's coming their way at the moment. They've dropped ever so deep. They're almost inviting us on. And it's just whether we can take advantage with one quality bit of play. Because I think once we get one goal and you force them to come out, there'll be a second and a third opportunity for sure.
Backed by a loud covered end as well as Bree. Back to Carey. Back to Ramsey. As Ramsey has Bree inside. Bree, lovely first time ball will find Carey. Carey with the low ball in. Vauxhall gets the challenge, comes back to Bree. Bree low ball in again, this time Davis with the clearance. Just want one of those to fall to a Charlton shirt. Instead it's the Addicts who have the corner.
Yeah, but that's how you keep the pressure on. I was saying it moments ago. Anything that's cleared, anything that's headed clear and is a knockdown, get yourself on the front foot and anticipate, and Bree did that really well in that moment. Touch to the byline, and again, good defending from them, position themselves well. But it's coming, we're knocking on the door.
Apter across to take for Charlton, coming up to 64 minutes played, 0-0. Oxford with every body back, and there's about 12 players almost in the 6-yard box.
I've got to say, I'm not necessarily a fan of this. One-headed clearance, you've got Carey on the edge, and I get that one for pace, and you've got Coventry really deep at the bottom of the centre circle, but they could break from this position at pace.
Apter with the ball in and is headed away. Hellick controlled by Apter again. Left-footed ball in once more. It's a decent one, and Lieben with the final header over the bar.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know I repeat myself, but stop fighting. Stop physically fighting and try and give yourself a yard or two to get away and in front. We just saw Kelman get across the near post, on the move, in front of the defender, flicks it on into a good area. I think the minute you get caught fighting a centre-half, it's really difficult to pin, hold and get a clean header. It really is.
Hawks are making their first change. Off comes Romani, on comes Tyler Goodham.
Which one is it?
Goodham. It's misspelt on the team sheet.
Oh, then yeah, no wonder you got yeah.
As coming with goal kick out on the left-hand side is Brown. Ball down the line. And Jones let the ball bounce, and Oxford have a potential chance, although Jones did really well to get back. Pulitzer was who got beyond him initially.
That is your only worry in this game, that we have become so dominant that there's that little one counter-attack or that one set piece against. It is still 0-0.
Lee inside to Vauxhall, out to left-hand side. Kiersmacher, who's not seen a lot of the ball in the second half, saw a lot of it in the first, goes back to Davis.
Yeah, but I think that coincides with them, and they're not really giving him a chance to get in possession, are they? Which is where he's at his most dangerous.
Spencer does well to turn Apter on the left-hand side. Spencer drifting down Oxford's right. Beats Gillespie, but will win the corner.
Yeah. And this is your worry, isn't it? These moments here, set pieces, they've had the really good opportunity with Brown. And I think set pieces, long throws is their next best opportunity.
Kiersmacher to take. It's lofted in towards the far post, comes off Lee. Vauxhall thinks about a shot and goes for it, and it's goal bound, headed away by Gillespie. Carey jumps well and Coventry were clear. Lovely ball forward up towards Apter. Apter trying to flick it down the line to Kiersmacher, did well to get back, and now Oxford will look to break. Goodham running forward. Challenge comes in from Gillespie. Now Hellick, back to Vauxhall. Goes back to Spencer. Inside to Davis. Mr. Brown, forward to Harris, who's got space to bring this forward if he wants. Harris, still no Charlton player, comes back, and in the end it's Ramsey with a brilliant block. Brown with the ball in the box. Hennick first time volley over the bar, but Charlton a little bit slow. Harris dropped off. Jones didn't want to come and block, but Ramsey did. And with 67 minutes, a word from Steve Brown, and I'll hand you over to Terry Smith to lead commentate for the rest of the second half.
Yeah, we've just got to be careful we don't drop in too deep and then not get the line up when we clear. Because what happens is you'll get 3 or 4 players clear and push up with a back line that stays deep, and that creates that little bit of space for players to work into. That would have been an extremely good finish. I managed to put that in the back of the net, but it was a centre-half volley up and away into the Jimmy Seed stand. And Charlton need to get the ball back, get it under control.
Cheers, Greg, but Charlton hadn't done that from Kaminski. Goal kick, and Oxford are in possession. Ball out to the right, and Spencer. That holds him up momentarily, but still Spencer on the ball. Goes past him on the right, and then it's a deflected cross off for Apter, which runs kindly for Kaminski, who returns it back to Rob Apter on the left-hand side. Looks to send it into the middle towards Leeburn. Good hold-up play from Miles Leeburn, and releases Carey. Can he get there? Carey with the outstretched foot of Brown was vital for Oxford. Just diverts it away for a throw-in.
Yeah, there was cover from Ben Davis. However, I would have fancied Carey.
Throw-in quickly taken. Bree on the right-hand side. Gives it back to Coventry, who's going to send this into the penalty area, but doesn't have the depth on it, and it's cleared away. Jones battling there, and sort of scissor tackle, which has been penalised by the referee.
But yeah, listen, it's a great foul, because once again, Oxford have got more players wrong side than we've got goal side. If he doesn't make that, this is my only fear. Having what when we get on the front foot, and we've got to start taking a few risks. You want to get yourself in front here, but there are moments when the ball's cleared. You just look down, and there are, say, 3 or 4 Oxford players the wrong side of our midfield, and we haven't got enough behind the ball.
Well, we've got 20.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Still goalless here at the Valley. As Cumming comes out of his goal to send this free kick up. Jones heads it away up towards Leeburn. Good hold-up play again by Leeburn, trying to tee up the returning Kelman, but it's a little too much on that. Allowed Davis to step in. Oxford have it back. It's that man Davis with the ball in the centre of the pitch.
I do think.
Oxford.
Sorry, Till, I think we're.
Ball drilled forward, and it's up to Harris, who can tee up Spencer on the right-hand side. Ball back inside to Volks, who sends the ball into the box, and that was lucky. Lee got a touch to that, because coming in from the far side, I think that was Harris coming in on the far side, looked to connect with the cross, and Lee took it off his toes. Yeah, it's away for a Charlton throw.
Picked up by Coventry. I was just about to say, is it not time for Get a Campbell on 20 minutes? Spencer's tiring, and I don't want, you know, I think we need a bit of a boost 1v1 down this left-hand side. Apter's done really well second half, but I think there is a place for Campbell on this pitch.
Well, Charlton have the throw, and it's Ramsey with it on the right. Taking his time, and now launch it down the line, looking for Leeburn, or headed on towards Kelman. Cleared away, Carey with the next header. Volks launches it skyward. So most of Oxford's passes have ended about 50 foot in the air. Charlton deal with it. It's Ramsey on the right-hand side, trying to send Leeburn the ball. It's gone over the top of him. Kelman can't catch up with it before it skips through to Cumming, who had advanced out of his 6-yard box to claim it.
That was an incredibly good header from Gillespie. Very difficult to deal with. We haven't seen this kind of play, have we, for a long, long time, in terms of how direct Oxford are.
The referee's just fell big time there, in my opinion. It was Goodwin that went to ground, the merest of touches from Anderson behind him, and he just went down like he'd been poleaxed, and has won himself a free kick. In the centre circle, inside the Charlton half. It does look like your wish might be granted in second, Steve Brown.
Well, we can't. We can't see that area anymore, can we?
It runs through harmlessly. I think Hillick got something on it, but it's gone away for a goal kick, and Charlton will make a charm. Double change, in fact. It looks like Greg Doherty is coming on as well. So Campbell and Doherty both coming on. Roy Anderson, one of the players, coming off.
He's done well today, Croy. He's battled away in there. You know, we love his battling spirits. But maybe that little bit of experience, that guy that might break from midfield late to get on the edge of the box to get us the winner. who might just sit behind the ball and organise and make sure that we don't get countered on. And then you've got Campbell, who I think is just a little bit quicker, a little bit stronger than Apter. I think Apter's done okay considering the lack of minutes he's had. But I do think this is the right time for Campbell to come on and hopefully be in one of his better moods. Get on that front foot and cause Spencer a lot of issues. I think he's got the capability of doing that.
Lieberman controls the ball coming forward, gets it back to Ramsey, and that's a good ball up to Kelman. Little touch left to Doherty. He's got Campbell on his outside, and now Therese Campbell with his first touch into the penalty area. Onto his right foot, still Therese Campbell. Shot coming in, just wide of the post. Almost an instant response from Therese Campbell, but it's a goal kick to Oxford.
Yeah, what I love about that is that gives him the confidence to know that he's got Spencer, because he was begging for someone to get over and help him out. He got that help, and Campbell took him on as well. That was inches past Cummings' left-hand post. I actually thought it might have just had enough curl on it to sneak in that bottom corner. But excellent start from Tyrese Campbell.
Cummings clears it away, looking for Lee. Just about keeps it in, but and does so for Kelman. Back to Bree, inside to Jones. Jones got Coventry deep, helping out. Brings it forward. He's got Gillespie to his left. Campbell ahead. Gillespie tries to send it to him, but blocked away by Prelix. Charlton had the throw, just about on halfway. Gillespie with it on this left-hand side, looking for Lieberman. Little control and then lovely tee up to Coventry. In turn, gets it in towards Kelman into the box, but just run away from Kelman on the bounce. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah. Excellent from Miles again. Good support position from Coventry. And there was a little, it's a really difficult ball to spot, but there was a little flick inside to Carey, I think, who'd taken up a brilliant spot, who could have taken a touch and got a shot away. Really tricky ball to get in behind, keep it in play and give Kelman a chance. But good play from Lieberman.
Well, double change for Oxford as well. Harris and Prelitz coming off, and Plachetta and Lancashire coming on. So both sides have made 3 changes in the game so far. And we have just over 15 minutes of normal time remaining. Goal kick from Cumming. Jones comes out, gets the header away. Can Lieberman keep this in? No, he's just levered out of it by Hellick. Well, the referee stopped him from coming forward anymore, and he's just allowed him to go another 10 yards anyway, which makes a mockery of that a little bit, as Coventry does well to get his head to the throw. Cleared forward once more, this time Jones underneath it. Just allows it to drop and bounce. Oh, the ball back to Kaminski is a little bit risky, and this is the one back to Jones. Going to have to clear this away under pressure. Does so up towards Doherty. Does well to drill it forward. More in safety than anything else, but Campbell is pursuing this like an absolute steam train. And needed Harris to clear it away, but Oxford have managed to avoid it. It's up towards Kiersmacher. To his left is Lee, inside of him is Goodrum. Still Goodrum on the left-hand side. That's a good tackle from, I was just about to say it's a good tackle from Ramsey. Referee thought otherwise. A free kick to Oxford on the left.
Yeah, and they're in that position because we were late on the press. Carey not recognising the pressure from Campbell and from Kelman. It goes into that central midfield area, and he's late on the press, and they play around the corner. And once you get out of a press, or a mini press that was, you can see the result of that, which is a quick switcher play out down the left free kick.
It's about a yard in from the touchline. And about 15 yards away from the corner flag. Free kick comes in, whipped in as well. Straight to Kaminski, he caught it low. If there'd have been any contact in front of him, I'm not sure he'd been able to react.
Yeah, that's a brilliant delivery. Again, just needs to be matched with a little bit of movement in the box, and it wasn't.
Ball rolled out to Ramsey. Inside of him is Carey. Brings it inside once more. Doherty inside his left, but he carries on. Sonny Carey. He's got Campbell away to his left-hand side. Campbell, left corner of the penalty area. We're going to cut inside. Spencer does so. Can he get his shot away? No, but he releases Coventry. Gives it back to Campbell. Campbell, players hovering around him. Inside to Kelman. Shot! And Charlie Kelman, back from injury, is back on the score sheet, and Charlton have the lead.
Let me tell you, Campbell with the ball inside. I want to talk to you about that first touch. On the back foot, opened up the opportunity to get the right foot shot away. It's what he brings. He brings that little bit of quality inside the penalty area that we haven't had up to this point. I love the fact that Campbell recognised the shot wasn't on. He went to Coventry. Coventry calm as a cucumber back to Campbell. I love that little ball inside to Kelman. But have a look at that first touch on the back foot, which opens up the opportunity for the strike. He then matches the touch with the finish. Deadly accuracy, shoots past Cummins before he can move. Charlton lead.
Outstanding strike from the Charlton striker, who must have thought that the season was going in the wrong direction with the injury, but had been brought back on in the hope that it would give Charlton the impetus and the spark to go on and win this game. Well, he's certainly given Charlton the opportunity to do that with a wonderful strike. The Addicts have the 1-goal lead.
Well, the substitutes have certainly had the impact. I thought Doc to Campbell that got that first shot away. You saw immediate what they offered, and then Kelman and Campbell linking up for that goal.
Oxford.
Concentrate, do your jobs. I think there's a second here if we get that right. If we're disciplined and we do our jobs well, I think there's a second in creation.
Well, Oxford launch it forward, and it's good battling in there from Ramsey, and he's won the ball back off of Plachetta, and now sends it left. Kelman will pursue this out. He'll do well to catch up with this, but he's having a best effort at it, but can't in the end retrieve it before it goes out of play for a throw-in just in front of the tunnel area.
But again, look at the movement off the shoulder, the timing of the movement. Ramsey looks up, and how many times we've seen players today look up and go backwards because the movement in front of the ball wasn't quite good enough. Ramsey looks up, Kelman times his movement, and the ball's played in. That's a foul.
Yeah, and Jones might get himself into the book here, and he does. The yellow card is flashed at Lloyd Jones, who'd just been turned from the ball round the corner. And Lloyd Jones picks up a yellow card. That's another double change for Oxford.
Yeah, he had to come off.
Krestev coming on for Spencer. Volks also coming off. And coming on will be Mills. So, throw of the dice from Gary Rowett. But they do restart with a free kick. At, 12, 15 yards inside the Charlton half on the right. Sent in by Kearsmaker. Headed away, or up in the air at least, by Carey. And Doherty with the next header goes right. So Hillick allows that to go out of play.
I think that change.
Another long throw component. Sorry.
I think that change should have come with Mills for Spencer as soon as Campbell entered the pitch.
Well, they still have possession now, and it's a good foot in from Coventry on Goodrum.
I'm glad it didn't.
Goodrum's back on the pitch. Back on the ball, rather. Out to Kearsmaker. Kearsmaker back inside and across to the left, and Davis. Krestev straight to Therese Campbell. Cuts inside. He's got lesbian support, and sends it away up towards Kelman, who gets something on it. Back there now is De Keersmaker, almost operating as a right centre half for a minute. Inside to the centre half, and Davis. Now Hillick out to De Keersmaker again. De Keersmaker thought about going over the top and then cuts inside with Kelman just blocking his path. Still the Oxford midfield man. Goes back to Davis again. Davis this time drills it forward, ball over the top, might catch Charlton out. Oh, that's an important touch from Lloyd Jones, and Oxford won a handball. Well, certainly the player closest to Lloyd Jones wants one.
Yeah,
I think it was Lancashire who was calling for it, but Lloyd Jones clears it away. Oxford have possession back again from the throw-in. And here to the right-hand side is Mills down the line. Here's Goodrum. Goodrum looking to get a cross in, does so as well. Ball over the top of Lieburn, who was back there helping out, but the header from Hillick goes comfortably wide and high. Be a Charlton goal kick. You expect it might get a little bit nervy here in the last 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, no handball for me. But what I didn't like was the position of the defence. Jones ahead of the other players. It creates that horrible little imbalance where players can get in between the spaces and remain onside. You're better off protecting the space behind and allowing them to have in front than you are going forward. I know he likes to get on the front foot and win balls, but we are 8 minutes to go from a 1-0 victory, and it's a huge victory.
Kaminsky's goal kick is headed forward, but Ramsey, a good ball into the feet of Kelman, trying to send Doherty on his way. Bundles into the back of his man, and I think the referee's given a free kick rather than a goal kick. I think it was Hillick who felt the challenge.
Ramsey's down again.
And Ramsey goes down. I think this might be a sensible one, actually, because if he is struggling...
he's already given the motion to get me off.
If he is struggling, then it makes more sense to get somebody who isn't going to get caught out.
Well, he won't be at Norwich, I think that's safe to say. I'll be very surprised if we can turn him around in the 6 days. He's gone down twice in this second half.
Well, we do have Keenan Goff, who got stripped off and ready the last time.
It's a huge game for a youngster to come in.
But Rankin Costello, as you've mentioned before, is also there. That can cover there. See any movement? Oh, yeah, it is Keenan Goff getting stripped off and ready to come on.
I quite like the fact that he has no hesitation in putting Keenan in. I've watched Keenan a few times this year. I like him.
Yeah, he does have something about him, Keenan Goff, doesn't he?
He's got good football intelligence. We play him.
Don't want to big him up too much before he comes on, but
the point being that he mainly plays in central midfield in the games that I've watched in the 21s.
He's a centre-half by trade.
I know he is by trade, but we've not been playing him there. And let me tell you, a right-sided centre-half in a front side is altogether different than playing in a defence in the 21s. Particularly, it's altogether different than playing sitting central midfielder in the 21s. And this is one thing that I think we have to get right moving forward. Is he a sitting central midfielder or is he a right-sided centre-half? You know, I've seen him both. He's capable in both, but that's on 21s football. This is a different matter.
Indeed, that's true. And Charlton haven't been able to make the change before the officials have allowed, because Ramsey's off the field, and the officials haven't allowed Charlton to make the change. So Oxford have possession. Charlton down to 10 men. It's Lancashire. That's a good initial block, but they have it back. Plachetta.
We need to drop in. Miles Lieburn drop
ball into the box. Dangerous one. Campbell is there, but he can't get there. Ball back across the goal, and a header from Jones to send it away. Campbell with the next header. And then Lieburn can't get there, but Carey does. And I think I know Kaminsky's down holding his midriff and waving, but I've got a sneaky suspicion this was to allow the Goff substitution.
A sneaky suspicion, Till?
Well, because he's actually holding a body to pretending he's injured at least. Whereas before he'd just go down saying, oh, tight hamstring.
It's not going to make a Sherlock Holmes novel, that one, is it?
Listen, I hope he's not properly injured, otherwise. Yeah, no, that was clear as claret, that statement.
Clear as claret.
That's going to be the brand phrase from this point forward.
And you've turned it into something it wasn't. I have a sneaky suspicion he's going to be all right.
Johnny Humphrey come up with a classic line earlier on, by the way. Kane Ramsey has gone off, and Keenan Goff will come on. And that was when he was talking about Bob Boulder. And he said Bob Boulder never really got injured, but he got a lot of net rash. Which I'd not heard before. I'm going to use that from now on.
He's still responsible for the best shout in football. Yours, mine, keepers away.
Well, Kaminsky is still down getting treatment, which lends itself, in my opinion, to think that it was a genuine one, actually.
No, it might have been, because the punch was over the top and he landed awkwardly, but look.
I'm not having it. All you cynics out there.
Yeah. Either way, Keenan Goff's on, Ramsey's off, which I have to say, if you want to get on a more serious note, that is another blow for Nathan Jones. He's a very competent player, Kane Ramsey. He's physical, he's strong.
A good spot, by the way, from our Mr. Stubley, that an additional substitution is going to be made, and it's going to be Harvey Nibbs coming on, and this lengthy treatment, because of the amount of times we've made subs, we've only got one more opportunity to do so. and this allows Harvey Nibbs to come on as well. Still think it's overly cynical, personally. I'm not having it. Nibbs isn't ready, by the way, so this may or may not work. But, Kaminski's up on his feet. He's just doing a bit of twisting.
Yeah, it's taking a long time, this.
Well, I think this is a message from the sidelines, because if Nibbs is still not ready and they do want to bring him on, then they've got to do it now. Doesn't look like it, though.
And the King's Championship debut, would you please welcome number 36.
Looks like we're staying as we are, which means...
So you cut me off for a load of nonsense, basically. Nice one, Stubley.
It's not going to live that
I
down
got
for a
cut
while.
down midstream for that nonsense. Brilliant.
But we got in the clear as claret statement, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's made it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it really is worthwhile, Tel, that one.
As Gillespie sends the ball away. Headed away by Hillick, but it'll be away for a Charlton throw, and there'll be a decent amount of minutes to be added on here.
That's the issue. You know, it served its purpose, but it's added on 4 or 5 minutes, sadly.
Gillespie comes across to this left-hand side, just inside the Oxford half to take this throw. Down the line it goes towards Lieben, doesn't reach him, headed clear. Jones batters into the back of the Oxford men, and then Connor Coventry sends it forward. Lieben will look for it, but it's too far away from that. Doherty with the next header. Kelman with a good touch. And still Kelman gives the ball to Campbell. Hillick with a little touch away. Charlton will have a throw.
Even that there, you know, the way he's picked up the seconds, run to the sidelines, drawn a bit of pressure, flicked it into Campbell, and it's a throw in Charlton, and these are vital seconds that you can just run down off the clock.
I suspect this won't be a long throw into the box from Gillespie's around about the tunnel area. Lieben comes short, receives it, just trying to hold it into the corner. Still Miles Lieben shielding the ball. Nobody actually touching it. Now there's a foot in from the Oxford man. Off of Gillespie, which means Oxford will have a throw. And, after the referee telling them not to come forward, they did anyway. And then Goodrum gets the ball back and then sent forward. Good header coming in from Goff, and then Kelman does well to flick it forward, but Lee, 9 minutes of added time here. As Doherty sends the ball forward, Davis clears it away, but straight to Kelman. He can't control it before Oxford regain possession and come forward. Keersmacher out to the right-hand side. Mills sends De Keersmacher on his way again. Lieben has tracked him all the way, and that'll come off the Charlton man and away for a corner.
Yep, good honest tracking though. You like to see that in 90-plus minutes. His centre forward tracking all the way back to his own goal
I'll
line.
tell you what, there's an angry little man in there in a blue shirt, Plachetta, who's just done something off the ball, and Charlton players are incensed at this. Whatever he did, it was off the ball and I didn't look at it, but Plachetta's done something that Charlton players are really angry about.
Listen, there was a little shove and an arm thrown out. It was, I've got to be honest with you, Tel.
I was hoping there was a little bit more...
Is this again just knocking seconds off the clock? You know, there wasn't a lot in that.
A flick to the face, maybe? Maybe just a little shoulder charge as well. Yeah, he might have warranted more of a talking to than he got, but we are going to have the corner.
Oh, okay, no, there's a little forearm in there. Yeah. Okay. It's a little bit more to that than we thought, Tel. Sorry.
Referee now wants to be Jones for some reason. Maybe he's just asking Lloyd Jones to calm down the players, but...
it could be past 5 o'clock for the end of this game, I have to say. Add on to the add-ons, I think we're going to get.
Well, still waiting for the corner, and it's De Keersmacher on this right-hand side to take it. Sends it in. Gillespie with a header away. Goodrum goes back out to Keersmacher. Gets the ball in again, but that's a good block from Coventry. That's with Plachetta. He can't get past Lloyd Jones, who sends it away. Campbell does well to hold the ball up for Charlton. Super work from Campbell. Looked like he was fouled, nothing given. And Plachetta has it back. Cuts inside on his left. Still going across the middle of the pitch. Plachetta tracked by Leeburn. Inside it comes to Brown. Ball to the edge of the area. Bouncing around, and it takes a deflection off of, well, I could have sworn that came off Coventry, but the referee's given a goal kick.
Well, good on him. Merry Christmas, Charlton. Have a goal kick.
He's turning into us. He's definitely turning into us.
No, this is a big win. I'm a little bit, I'm normally all right. I'm a little bit like, need this one over the line. Come on.
Kaminsky with a goal kick. Decent length on it. Leeburn tussling with Brown, and he gets the header to it as well. Leeburn. Doherty trying to get to the next one. Does so. Trying to find Kelman with a ball forward, but he put far too much on that. It'll run through to Cumming, and rolls it out to Davis. To Keersmaker. Comes deep for it.
We're not pressing, we're not dropping. You either drop as a group or you press as a group.
Campbell back there to head it away. Coventry tussling. Oh, and he tries to do a bit of Gaelic football kind of commentary there, but the ball's already out of play. And it'll be a Oxford throw, taken quickly by Hellick into the feet of De Keersmaker. Oh, what's going on now? Well, the referee thought the phone was taken in the wrong position, so he wants it taken again. And, this time it'll be Mills with it. We'll go back to De Keersmaker. Trying to get into the box. Carey trying to stop him from doing so. Goes back inside to Davis. It's good covering by Leeburn. Ball up to Goodrum. Coventry trying to close him down. Ball down the line. Campbell does well to get back there. And, foot in from Campbell on Lancashire. Puts it away for a throw. Quickly taken. Goodrum straight into Coventry, but it goes back to Mills. Ball into the box. That's good defending by Bree. It was, I think Hellick was coming across to try and get his head to it, and Bree just levered him out of the way, and the ball goes harmlessly away for a goal kick.
Yeah. You're at a disadvantage height-wise, so what do? You have to use your body and make it difficult. Hellick's got a significant advantage height-wise there on Bree, and that's a perfect way to manoeuvre someone who's got a height advantage out of the way. Just put his hip out, rolled him, all out for a goal kick. Brilliant from Bree. 5
minutes of the added 9 gone as Kaminsky sends the ball away for the goal kick. But, free header coming in there for Oxford. But, good work from Doherty to then head it on. Campbell's attempted ball through the middle to Kelman is far too heavy.
Well, just wide areas, Tell. Outside the penalty area. Hook it into the areas outside of the penalty area. You can then press that. If you go through the keeper, you can't get your line up.
Oxford work it to the left. Leeburn closes Brown down, so it comes inside to Davis. Leeburn tracking him again. Davis, it's good work from Miles Leeburn, but the ball's worked out here to Mills in the end. But Leeburn again tussling Davis, and again does really well. Oh, the referee gives a free kick against them for that. It's a tad harsh to me. And I think Nathan Jones just got himself in the book because of it.
Well, he'll be on the edge of his seat. His nails will be down to the stubs.
Free kick taken into De Keersmaker, out to the right, and Davis. Davis ball forward to Goodrum, forced backwards by Doherty to De Keersmaker again, out to the left, and Brown. This time Kelman closes. Brown still in possession, bringing it forward. Coventry goes across, as does Goff. Does well, and then super work from Bree, and Goff was fouled as he made the challenge. Good work from Keenan Goff, and he drew the foul. Charlton have a free kick, 5 yards or so inside the Charlton half on the right-hand touchline.
I like that from Coventry, just having a chat with the youngster. Jones needs to do the same, and Bree certainly in front of him needs to do it.
Oh, is it a free kick? Or is
no, it's a throw
gone
in.
Out for a throw. Oh, okay. I thought
he kicked it off there, play it out for a throw.
It will be Goff with that throw. Down the line it goes, looking for Kelman. Can't get there, but Doherty intercepts the attempted ball forward clearance, and it'll be a Coventry throw now. No, Coventry, because it's Sligo. I'm in Oxford. Hillick. Inside to Davis. Leeburn looks to close him down. Davis forward. That's a good interception from Coventry. But Hillick gets his head to the ball and then Goodrum sends it forward. Header in from Mills, cleared away by Gillespie up towards Doherty. Can't control it, comes off the Charlton captain and away for an Oxford throw. Thrown back to Davis. Again, Leeburn tussling. That's a great challenge from Leeburn. And the referee has seen that as a foul and will book Miles Leeburn. And again, I thought that was a great challenge. Maybe I've got my Charlton eyes on, but looked a good challenge to me.
Yeah, he made an apology, Miles, and he's absolutely running on empty. But this is how his performance have to look. He has to work this hard. I'd rather he worked his socks off and got dragged at 75-80, but he is running on empty, and that's why you saw the late sort of lunge, but he's still working.
Free kick sent towards the Charlton penalty area. Combination of Charlton bodies get to the header, and then Kelman a little bit late getting to it. And because of that, he takes out. Can't see who the Oxford man is on the floor. Is it Goodrum? Trying to see from this angle. Goodrum, and so it'll be a free kick. Centre.
I mean,
the pitch about 10 yards outside the D of the penalty area.
Do you go sideways and deliver into a packed box, or do you take the shot? I mean, that is 22, that's 30 plus. It's a long way out.
And Kaminski has to organise his walk as we head to the last 15 seconds of added time. Trying to see who's over this free kick. Is it Krastev? Takes the free kick to the right and comfortably right of the post.
Yeah.
And Charlton will have a goal kick as we've gone over the 9 minutes of added time. I think you said though, Brandon, there might be some added on added.
Another 2 or 3. Either Kaminski was ultra confident that was wide, or he was just praying it went wide.
I thought exactly the same. I'm going with the former.
Yeah, let's go with the confident. Yeah.
Kaminski with the goal kick.
This goes as long and as far as you can. He's left a couple of goal kicks short on the halfway line, which we've lost. This has got to hit your centre forwards. Short again.
A little bit short, but it will pick out Bree on the right-hand side. That's a good flick on to Leeburn, and even better ball back to Bree. Now it's Kelman. Kelman on the right with Doherty ahead of him. Still Charlie Kelman taking it into the corner. Brilliant. Sensibly and cleverly. Still Charlie Kelman. And eventually 3 Oxford United players converge and get the free kick. Where's he going with this throw, by the way? About 30 yards for that throw, and the referee's not having it, and he wants it taken back. What's the chances this throw is taken from exactly the same place anyway? Davis throws it back to his keeper instead, and then launches it forward. Keenan Goff meets it with his chest, but it'll go straight to Brown. Out to the left-hand side is Lee. Lee launches it skyward. Hillick's gone forward. Gillespie meets it with his head. Now Doherty will need to win this header and does.
Yes.
And there's the final whistle. And the relief is palpable as the Addicts get back to winning ways. Charlie Kelman back from injury that bagged the winning goal. And it's a game, in all honesty, that Charlton had chances to win. There was always that worry that because that goal hadn't come, we might get hit by a sucker punch. But Charlie Kelman come off the bench to make sure that didn't happen. And the Addicts have a much, much, much welcome Christmas 3 points.
Yeah, and by my calculations, that's an 8-point gap to relegation, and we shouldn't be looking over our shoulders, but it just gives you that lovely cushion leading into the Christmas fixtures. And we've got teams that are in and around us, so we have an opportunity to just accelerate away from that bottom area and make everybody calmer. But the job was well done in the end. I think we thoroughly deserved the 3 points. The clean sheet is the big thing for me. We've struggled to keep them of late. But that one moment of real quality, I thought the substitutes all made a difference. Doherty coming in there, offering that little bit of experience at the right time. Campbell being a threat down the left. But the Kelman finish, it's all about that. Campbell in off the left, a little ball into Coventry, who could have taken a pot shot at that point, stayed nice and calm, back to Campbell. It's that first touch on the ball inside. It's on the back foot. He opens up the yard, which opens up the bottom left-hand corner. You've still got a little bit of work to do technically on the shot, and he really did pick the right shot in the right moment, pass coming, and that was the moment of quality that's won the game and got us that all-important 3 points.
And maybe it's that bit of quality that in and around the box that we've missed a bit at times this season. Certainly in a period where we were up against it for long periods, and you need just that little bit of extra in and around the box, even for the half chances. But Charlie Kelman came back, perfect timing, just before Christmas. In a tough Christmas period, as they all are. But this one in particular, on the run of defeats, and then that incredibly good point away at Birmingham City. It meant that following it up here with a victory was vital, and so it came. And it's Keenan Goff been pushed forward to milk the fist pumps in front of the covered end, and now they're all waiting for Nathan Jones to do the same. I've got to say, Nathan Jones went immediately to his centre half, Lloyd Jones, and then straight to Miles Lieben, and there's Charlie Kelman milking the fist pumps as well.
Good.
And now the covered end want the gaffer. And here it comes. And there it is. And Nathan Jones signs off here at the Valley on a much welcome 3 points, celebrating in front of the covered end. And you do wonder, you'd expect, I think Charlie Kelman doesn't do the tunnel jump. I don't want to get injured. I don't think Miles Lieben's got the energy. So
no, and I want to give him a mention, actually.
Keenan Goff would be nice.
Yeah, Keenan Goff would probably be the one, because he's fit and healthy and only been on 10 minutes. But I'd like to give Miles a mention, because he's a player that probably draws a little bit of attention in terms of, we all think he's got a bit more than he's been delivering, and it's not because it's criticism, it's because we think he's got the ability and the assets to be a real big player in the Championship.
Well, it's Charlie Kelman.
Yeah, well, listen, he's had a difficult couple of months. Why not?
And there's Keenan Goff, the two we thought it might be, and the tunnel jump's complete.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can finally go home at about, what, 5:10?
Well, it just remains for me to say,
I can't. No, I've got work to do.
Firstly, a huge thank you to Josh in production here at the Valley, and then, of course, my thanks to Mr. Steve Brown to my right, and Greg Stubley to my right as well. But a huge thank you to you as well, obviously, for watching and listening. It just remains for me to wish you all the merriest and happiest of Christmases. I hope you all have a fantastic time. We'll be back on Boxing Day, and if it's allowed and you're able, then please come and join us here on Charlton TV. If you can't, then I'm not sure what you're going to do, to be fair. But have a great Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you again Boxing Day. But from all of us here at the Valley, take care. Good night.